I'm not entirely confident I'm using it right now.
We are the quorum of the 12 worlds.
Well,
Oh,
it's
no,
I think
not
the phrase
that.
is "we are quorate" means we have enough members in order to proceed, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Can we not get carried away with sci-fi after last time?
What was wrong with last time?
Well, I don't know. It led to. Well, you've had your drama. I had my drama this week as well.
We are recording now, Ben. Just for.
Oh no, yeah, but I will address this point anyway because what I said was kind of like totally misconstrued. Now
You're on a podcast bench. It's going to be misconstrued.
I know. The thing was, the guy misconstrued it as an attack on the community that they're trying to foster there in the Journeyman League, and that's not the case. I mean, that's great if they're doing that, but none of those guys appear to be on the sign-ups for the tournaments. Or I mean, I was going purely on that statement that in the last game there were no players up for one of the months. There were none on the website, whether they held the event or not, which kind of looks a bit weird. And then there weren't that many sign-ups. I think the turnout was 6 or so. Now, previously, those events have been pulling in around 10 to 15 players or so. So that's quite a significant drop-off. If they're still fostering a community within the store, that's fantastic. I know that the group does X-Wing, and they do a massive X-Wing event, which is really popular. They do lots of other events as well, like Conquest, the card game for 40k. But it just seems that those War Machine numbers, why aren't they getting them into the tournaments? I can understand that it's slow grow. But
to be fair, not everyone wants to play in tournaments as well, Ben. That's what's usually at the end of the day, especially newer players. Some people do just play the game to play the game. That's fine.
And no, I'm one of those people now because I'm still stuck in this kind of list build. I had a bad list build choice on Monday. First time playing Durst and just took all the wrong Warjacks and probably the wrong infantry support unit as well. And I can imagine if I'd have taken that to a tournament, I'd have had a bad time. It's like, I played into Pirates, by the way, which seemed obnoxious.
Hang on. Pirates or Denny Pirates?
Not Denny Pirates, Matt. I didn't play against Matt. Apparently, the pirate boat is alive and well. For Denny.
Having that double recycle thing, just...
Yeah. I don't know how Ryan got top best in Cricks, though, didn't he?
Yes, because Matt was second.
Yeah. So I wanted to know what Ryan was running. I should have asked him, actually. And I thought he probably might have dropped Signar. 18 Signar players.
Ryan Evans.
Yeah, Ryan Evans. Yeah. So he's he dabbles in Cricks.
Yeah.
But he was mainly Signar for the last edition.
All right, I still think he was a Circle player. But
Ryan was for very many years Circle.
He was.
Yeah, but I've known him for the longest, probably playing Signar. You knew him longer than I have.
How long? I actually met him at my second War Machine event. The one that Kurt was going to go to but didn't. Do you remember, was it Legion of Snake?
Oh, yeah, the
campaign weekend.
Yeah.
My first game there was against Ryan. Because he brought P Boulder and some Wolds, and I was running P Butcher and Doom Reavers. And it was a game where not much happened because he'd got a list that was trying to go, and I throw Earth Spikes at you, and my list was just there going, you can't target me with spells.
I know I played him in Cardiff. I think I played in Bristol as well at different times. But Cardiff, I think, was the first time. But I can't remember what kind of event it was. I used to go to lots of little stuff in Cardiff.
I think the last time I played Ryan was his YOLO moment, where we were both playing Signar. I was playing P Striker. He was playing E Striker, and he went, "You know what? I think I'm in range of you, Striker." Oh dear! Charges halfway across the board. Goes, yeah, right, 2 dice of additional damage, 10, that'll do. How much damage do I take? 5, that's fine. And then proceeds to have a whiff fest.
Oh, no.
Cannot hit Striker at all. And just leaves me after having spent all his focus and his feet, leaves my Striker standing there on like 10 wounds. And he's there next to 2 Warjacks, Striker, and half my army. It did not end well.
I'm sure that did not end very well. No. Friday night, somebody's asked to go into a Signar gun line. So I was thinking of breaking out Signar, but I don't know. I don't really... everybody's like theorized the Sloan build. Is anyone actually put that on the table and has it worked? Or can you play Sloan in a sensible list?
The Sloan 9 charges thing, just put that back in your mind, doesn't work.
Okay.
I mean, it's an interesting list and it's a good skew. And yeah, that fine. It's probably not going to make a tournament thing.
Mm.
Sloan herself, though, he's turning up at tournaments. She's Signar's, I think, 4th caster at the moment.
Yeah, so you got Haley 1, 2... No, you got Kane, Haley 2, Haley 3.
Yeah.
And then Sloan, is that kind of it?
Yeah.
And I know my friend was talking about Siege being the viable option against Wormwood, Cassius.
Siege is close. Siege is a couple of percentage points behind Sloan, and then Haley 1's a couple of percentage points below those, and then it kind of really tails off into whatever. I really thought Maddox would be more popular, but apparently not.
Maddox is, like, she's a better Jakes anyway. So,
well, we saw both. We saw Jakes and Maddox and Cray in the top 3 at Nationals. So they're going,
Wow.
This seems a bit weird. I don't know about you, but it seems weird.
Was Cray jank? Was it just, like, lots of lights, or...?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Was it Stormwall? Because giving him... That's hilarious if you take Stormwall with Cray. That thing is not supposed to move that fast. Just charging.
I was going to say, you haven't seen my Epic Magnus list, which has a load of speed... Well, effectively Speed 7 Mercenary Warjacks, which bottom out at Armor 21 if you engage them in melee.
Apparently the best brick out there at the moment is Irisk 2 and all the Iron Fangs and Behemoth. And it's just a small moving brick of no knockdown, tough.
Epic Irisk is... Yeah. He's up there for Cadre. I'm not entirely sure why.
It works, apparently. Somebody was talking about a tournament where someone brought that, and it's like it's just a slow moving brick of death that eventually gets there and just pokes you a little bit at the end, and then you fall over.
Right.
But
I'm just going to pop to the loo, and then when I get back, we can start recording. Maybe.
Yay.
So if you want to discuss amongst yourselves topics, I do want to talk a little bit about Nationals, but I don't want it to be a main thing.
What happened to the long-haired lout?
Oh, he's on a beach in Scotland.
What?
Don't ask.
All right.
We've seen video already. He's been on.
Oh, okay.
He's been on. You missed it.
Oh, that's okay. I can sleep at night.
He lives there.
I thought he's moving.
He is, but I think he's still staying there.
To where I live.
Yeah, I know you're going to have some kind of weird group.
You can come visit us on the train bench.
I will do eventually. Dear God, I will eventually. You can come visit me. I got a house. Come visit the house. The flat.
You sound jovial as ever.
I'm really tired. I hit a wall at 12 o'clock in this really humid office today. Just sat there, and then I don't say that a really humid office like I've never been in my office before, but I was just sitting there, and it just hit me at 12 o'clock, and I was like, I could actually fall asleep now. And I've been feeling like that since. Yeah. You're all like exercise and active, and I wish I could do that.
I'm looking at a cycle route right now on my phone. Yeah.
I wish I could be. I wish I could do that. I wish I had the knees to actually even attempt to do that.
I've regained the joy of it, and just sort of tinkering with a route that I did last time, and thinking, how do I get a few more miles out of that without any more massive hills?
It's all right when you're going down them. Whee!
Well, you don't burn calories going downhill, going on the flats. You can't do want hills.
I know, but you get wind in your short hair.
Indeed, it was fun. Yeah, no, I've been doing loads. Trying to get out a couple times a week. I got up to 80. I did 18 miles on Friday. And I want to kind of that's my kind of goal, is to sort of get 18, 20 mile routes. I think. Yeah.
How long is that taking you to complete?
It took about an hour and a half.
Jeez. Are you running or are you cycling?
Cycling.
You are cycling. That's good. Low impact.
It's not bad. 12, 30 miles an hour cycling is pretty good.
No, that's amazing. I'm just saying it's pretty good.
I'm not a runner. I can't run.
I don't think anyone can run.
I hate running.
It's the worst.
People do, but my size just doesn't lend itself to running. But cycling is really good. I've forgotten how much I enjoy it, and I forgot. You
are a giant. If people saw you running towards them, that would be quite scary.
I've already been pimping my bike and buying bits for it and stuff. Side grips for the sides.
Are you completely lycra'd up? Like as well?
No, I have bought shorts, but I wear shorts over them as well. And they are much better. So I didn't understand why cycling shorts are now so much better. But with shorts with pockets over the top, and no, not lycra'd up. I've got like, the Gore-Tex stuff, the polyester, breathable polyesters. I've got a Deadpool like shirt, which is like not with a picture of Deadpool on. It's Deadpool's shirt.
Oh
with the
no!
straps over the front of it as my cycling shirt. I love it. It's awesome.
Oh god!
Red and black all over it. It's good.
Oh, the mental images now.
Yeah,
be good.
That's good. Yeah, and just really enjoying it. But I felt like crap this week, so I haven't been out this week yet. Wanted to go. I was in Dorset the weekend at my mum's and wanted to go out on the cycle trails, like a 9-mile old railway line that's been to a cycle trail. I wanted to get up and down that, but I'd eaten too much food that I shouldn't have done and was tired and lethargic. And I was like, no, I don't want to. And then realised when I got to Monday that I was going down with something, and that's probably why I felt crap at the weekend.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm hoping tonight isn't too late again. I know I said that last time, but there's only 3 of us. Although we did end up talking for ages about Babylon 5 last time. So. And Mike's already mentioned Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, with the quorum. He did actually say the quorum.
Oh, he did say the quorum of 12, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Well, I was going to watch Blood and Chrome. Actually, I haven't seen that one.
No, I haven't watched it either.
It looks alright. It was like a few web episodes mangled together. Actually, where's Mike? I want to talk to him about something.
So, he asked us to talk about topics as well. I've got no idea.
Oh, I have literally got no idea. He was just going to wax intellectual about not ETC, Nationals. And
cool.
And that's it, and that's fine. We'll just chip in. There is. Have you got the Trolls Battle Box, by the way?
Yeah, no.
No.
I've got the Legion one.
There's a eBay site that's now selling like components from the 2-player one, so you can get Ragnarok.
Cool.
He's about £7, $7.99 and he comes with all the black tokens. Do it now because like they're going like hotcakes.
I'm looking now.
So I think it's Troll Trader. Bit of advertising there. I think so, yeah. It's the web store.
Ragnar, that's what we get.
Ragnar.
Yeah.
And you get all the black tokens and everything, which is kind of cool. I got Maddox without having to buy more bloody Signar jacks.
individually.
Eventually, yeah, but that's a while away, they said. We're getting to that stage where they need to start previewing some stuff that's interesting. I know they're going to... You get the first Theme Force book, don't you, Trolls?
I'm not sure.
When they come out? I think that is the case.
I really don't know.
Have you found it?
Okay, isn't it?
No.
Let's do battle.
Alright, give me a sec. I'll find it.
Right.
I was lying down. I am now going to find it. Yeah, if I do this podcast half asleep, that'd be good. There we go. Okay. Troll Trader.
What are you waffling on about, Benj?
Stuff. I watched Gundam Thunderbolt a couple of weeks back.
Yes, I did vaguely hear.
That was depressing. That was almost, I don't know. That was almost, I don't know which level, which is Tomino's, like, most Zeta levels of sadness.
Oh, God.
I guess. So, yeah.
Just kind of go back on what he did with Zeta, so...
No.
Where's that bloody headphone cable?
A bloody headphone cable.
So I've kind of got the headphone cable strung all around everything and just, oh God, it's terrible.
It's just all manner of terrible.
Right, I found the store. Let's have a look. I used Google to find the store, not the actual own.
Have you not found it yet?
No, yeah. I found the store.
Oh, okay.
I use Google rather than eBay don't search.
I'm on the Troll Traders thing. I just can't seem to find it.
Search for the shop privacy.
What are you looking for?
There is a company on eBay that's selling the 2-player battle box component parts, so you can pick up Warcasters from them.
Oh, okay.
So I picked up Maddox, and you just trying to get Kurt.
Ragnar?
Yeah. If I can find them. Haha, gun majors for sale. Nobody's going to buy those.
They're not terrible. They're just nowhere near as good as they used to be.
They're just completely, utterly useless now. If they could still snipe out stealth, I mean, they put everything onto a 5-point solo. It's ridiculous.
Also, my Magnus list for the weekend is looking a lot sadder now. I've had to take the Adrians out.
Oh, have you not got them?
Pardon? I just heard two of you talking at once. It's like, what?
No, you can go.
Is it Ragnar?
It's either Ragnar or Ragnar.
Oh, I thought it was Ragnar, but I was trying Ragnar.
I think it's Ragnar.
Ragnar, Sky Splitter, Rune Master, Warlock, got it.
You got it. Sweet.
Just put a lot of these.
Yeah.
£2 plus £2 shipping.
So,
but he comes with all the tokens and the cards, so I still think that's good.
Before we go any further, has anyone got ideas for a topic?
We're kind of in that sort of stage where we were like, you can talk about the tournament for ages, and then we'll call it a night.
I'm not going to talk for ages because I was judging, not playing.
Yeah, but you can talk for ages, so it's perfectly fine.
This is not just a minute, Benj.
Excellent.
Sometimes.
Pause, don't hesitate.
Well, I was just saying, at the moment, we are kind of in a bit of a weird phase where we haven't had anything really new spoilt yet, especially with the theme books coming out in September,
Ordered. Thank you
October,
very much for
November,
that.
December. No problem.
Really appreciate that.
That's
Don't
four.
thank him. You'll only encourage him.
What, to be helpful? That's twice on the podcast I've been helpful. Twice. Right.
You should have gone with at least twice, Benj.
At
Come on,
least
you know
twice. Okay. So, no. Trolls get the first theme book, don't they, when they come out? Supposedly, I believe.
Well,
Trolls
they're
and
first
Men Off.
alphabetically, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're first alphabetically.
Yes, of course. No, it's Trolls and Men Off that get the first two.
So, I mean, they have to
No,
start spoiling some of the miniatures for that because, at least
They
just to
weren't
get
going
some
to.
interest.
They said at the start of all of this they're going to stop doing long-term spoils. They said that earlier in the year.
Yeah.
I think
We
because
all got so tired of, here you are, this is what you're going to get next year. I mean, like, I'm bored already waiting.
I think this is also a thing that they said there's going to be a 3-month release window after each book where everything will then be out.
Yes.
That's absolutely going to be the case, and I have full faith in Privateer to deliver on that one. Yep.
I can't tell if serious. I couldn't tell if serious.
That was just a hint of cynicism there.
You might
Thank
say.
you very much. I still
couldn't
can't get over that.
comment.
That's still really good. I'm still kind. I ages before I got that figure.
Oh,
Is he happy?
You've made him happy.
Oh, well, I'm so glad, actually, I made him happy.
It distracted me from my planning.
He's gone a bit robot.
Yeah, I thought that was me for a second, but is it him?
I can't work out why. Oh, let's make sure nothing else is happening.
He's got so happy he's turned into a robot.
I can't work out why though. Oh, do you still like Ron Burgundy in the show?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Supreme Commandant Dearest.
Negative to the press ganger. I really hope that whoever does their proofreading for them perhaps reconsiders how much proofreading they're doing, because either they're being given so much they're being swamped and not doing it properly, or there is inadequate proofreading going on. And it needs to change quickly, because PP have always had a reputation of having fairly good proofreading and rules development, and if they're not careful, that's going to go away very, very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember that thread that I started in Reddit that I linked you to, which wasn't as bad? It wasn't a massive whinge. I was trying to get some constructive feedback. There was a guy that tagged on at the end on Reddit called Clusterfuck, and I looked at some of his previous posts, and he's got a massive hard on for hating on PP. And this was one of his posts. It was polish for Mark III. That's the worst kind of joke. What we have are erratic changes and relaunches of pet models from Mark II that never passed muster. Ham-fisted design, wording changes to rules that were never part of any issues in Mark I or Mark II. A litany of bought changes. Blah 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 blah. While he does have a lot of issues, the quality of editing, it can't actually be knocked on. It has gone down quite considerably, and you're right. If it doesn't, I mean, it's just going to turn into, well, at least Age of Smegmar's rules were, legible. They were just daft, and required a beard to get a +2 or whatever.
Now, there are reasons behind a lot of that. In that the ones with the silly rules are the power units.
Are we doing a podcast or what?
Well, I'm going to attack this on at the end anyway. So this is all content that will be in there, just in a different format.
Except the bit I've interrupted you on. Good.
Well, no, it'll all be in there because I can't be asked to edit you out.
Excellent.
The stuff they gave the silly rules to was generally the power units from the previous edition of Warhammer, which meant that if you wanted to play those, the silly rules were on the table. What they've done for the stuff coming out is very much more normal. So if you have the newer units or choose to play your old ones as a counts as for one of the newer units, then you have normal rules.
What, did they try and discourage people from playing old models with stupid rules?
No, it was to discourage them from playing certain power units.
Right. Because
at the same sort of power level.
How is that gonna stop your average GW tosspot who already thinks like and like shouts whenever he rolls dice and
I would not ascribe those qualities purely to GW players.
Oh, come on, some of them are the worst. Some of them haven't been outdoors in like 9 years and
are you saying you haven't met Magic or War Machine players who aren't equally as bad?
Oh, wait. You can do a percentage breakdown of who's worse, though. Literally.
War Machine. I don't think that's a comparison anyone comes off favourably in.
No, I agree with Mike. I don't think they do either.
I think we are in a hobby that tends to attract people who maybe don't have the greatest set of social skills. And occasionally that shows through.
Well, maybe that should be the topic then. How batshit bonkers are War Machine players in comparison to everybody else?
No.
Well,
I'm not even going there. Just no. Hands up. No. Sorry. I'm done.
I mean, some of them are at your competitive tournaments all the time, trailing at the bottom. And
to be honest, Benj, for this episode, content-wise, if I'd have thought about it when we'd started, I would have right now a list of moments to put on the podcast so that I could say, here is Elite Cadre, and now follows a list of highlights from the past 5 years. Because, as we record this is the 7th of September. Tomorrow is the 5th anniversary of the first episode of the podcast.
Oh dear God! We could have done a filler episode, could we?
And it was awful. It was truly monumentally bad. I have listened to it recently, and I just sat there going, "Oh my God!"
Why? Well, go on. Why? In what way? Go on.
It's
apart from we were all rubbish.
That is kind of the point. A lot of it was just. I mean, I have to listen to what we say now, and some of that is kind of borderline. But some of the stuff from 5 years ago, I'm sat there going, "Why did people sit through this? What possessed them to keep on listening past episode 1?" Because, I can't do it. I think I know why I almost had the breakdown at episode 8. It wasn't just.
Well, you used to do quite a lot of excessive editing. You used to have quite an editing job, didn't you?
I used to be a lot. I used to be a lot slower at editing. I can edit much faster. So,
but there's also less to edit, and we're a bit more laid back. And generally speaking, we know what we shouldn't say, and we don't leave dead space, and we don't talk over each other as much as we used to either, do we?
No. That is entirely true.
I must listen to these. Actually, I don't know. Can I put myself?
I don't think you should.
I already hate myself a lot as it is. I don't want to go complete full self.
Believe it or
I
not,
can't remember one of the outtakes. One of the outtakes in one of the fairly early ones.
Oh dear.
So 12-ish, I want to say. Apparently, well, I got played the outtake section, crying with laughter, and it was something that it was all kind of stuff. So there was some. I didn't listen to the episode, just listened to the outtakes at the end, which had me crying, and I was listening.
Oh God, dear God.
I did actually at one point start editing the outtakes together for YouTube. But I only did the first 5 episodes worth and could never be bothered to go back because now we're on episode 72.
How prolific were you back then in comparison to now? Was it still once a month or?
No, it was Yeah.
Okay.
We started off twice, and basically there was a period where I moved house and I wasn't getting games of War Machine in, and it took a long period off. And then we kind of worked out, okay, we can come back, but for time reasons, it's got to be once a month rather than every other week, because I couldn't keep up with that schedule forever. That was probably during one of the points where I basically quit. And then kind of went, oh, okay, I'll come back. I'm sure I'll do it several more times before the podcast finally.
And there was there's some online raging about somebody putting owner of Elite Cadre in their Twitter description.
No, that was a private conversation, Curtis.
It wasn't.
Most of it was private.
Yours
Anyway.
and my conversation wasn't you who did it.
I would prefer that we move away from that topic. Because
I like this. Where's it going? I need drama.
I'm being
Drama.
diplomatic. And
Why?
Benj,
Why? You're not the UN. You're not the UN.
I know I'm not. Benj, if next time we meet in person, I'll be happy to discuss this.
Yeah.
However, I'm not a sort of airing dirty laundry in public kind of person. Shut up, Hanson.
Which one?
That's a point. Both. Neither.
All right, fine. It's going to be a
I had a
quiet
strop.
podcast.
Benj, I had a strop on Twitter. Is the short version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Kurt, when he's in full on harumph mode, is
Full harumph.
Full harumph.
yeah.
I would give that the full harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Either way, I am quite surprised that people listen to us, even our terrible, apparently, opinions. This week has proven to me that people listen to us, and Mike's jokes are always taken in a bad way.
No, I want to know more about this now. Come on, Ben, you have to tell me.
No, we won't do that.
No. I see.
Yeah,
no,
you see.
Now
Yeah.
I know what you're referring to. I thought this was something you'd read in the same place you read the other comments.
No. They just.
Okay, let's move away from that one. Let's do it.
Quality radio, lots of in references, with no explanation. It's amazing.
I know what we can actually talk about. Because we've been here 5 years.
Pathfinder.
No.
Sorry. Okay, fine.
D&D, actively confusing edition.
No, you're doing it wrong. I'm saying the rule Pathfinder.
Okay.
Sorry, I was doing a callback to the. Last bit
no. Also,
okay,
no.
Fine. All right.
We could talk about our musings on the game for the last 5 years.
Okay. I haven't been playing this game for 5 years.
How long have you been playing it for?
Wait. Since end of 2012.
Long enough.
All right, fine. I'll do.
I don't want to talk about when I started playing this game. It's starting to make me feel old.
But Kurt, you are old. Yeah, but you're also fitter than I am, and you're older than I am. So.
Right,
that's
thank you.
fine.
Very, very good of you to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we begin?
Where's Alex?
Oh, he's not turning up.
Oh, okay.
See, Ben, you ruined that because you're supposed to stop him in the middle of the. Can I just stop you there, Mike? Where's Alex?
Oh, there.
I heard from Alex. Well, I saw Alex briefly at National Masters. I do not know what's happening. Yeah.
What was he doing in Stockport?
He lives near there.
Oh, does he? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I've got a complete geographical blank on where he actually comes from. So.
Stockport. It's not quite his local.
Cheshire.
It's not far away.
Oh, okay.
Hello and welcome to Elite Cadre, the Hordes War Machine podcast that doesn't take itself too seriously. I'm Mike.
Confused. Wait, nobody interrupted you.
I know, it's brilliant.
Okay. I'm Kurt.
And I'm Reinhardt. No, I wish I was Reinhardt. I really do. No.
You wish you were that awesome.
100% German engineering. Sorry.
You just feel like you're not giving it the full bench. I mean,
I'm lying
Full
down
bench.
right now.
I don't want the full bench.
You don't-
Thanks.
I don't want to know what state of lying down or undress you're in, Benj.
You
It's
can't
too much.
handle the full bench. What?
You'll have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel.
Ah.
No. No, that was a Simpsons joke.
That's enough
Everyone.
to end this podcast's run, I'm afraid. Good night,
And
we're
good night.
cancelled. Goodbye. We're out.
Okay.
I should point out that we are recording on the 7th of September. And once we pass midnight, this podcast will be 5 years old.
Wow.
I'm starting to wonder, does that beat out boosted damage in terms of longevity?
I don't
It's
know.
going to take counting, doesn't it? Number of episodes. It's not the number of episodes. They did more episodes, didn't they?
Yes, they did. They went over 100.
Yeah. 'Cause I think I was on the 100. Well, we were on the 100th episode.
I'm pretty sure that we've beaten Dragonstorm. Yeah. Who remembers that?
Oh,
Yes.
That
I
was
was on
actually,
one of those as well.
that was the inspiration. Well, one of the inspirations for this show.
was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it was.
God.
I don't know how long boosted damage ran for. Obviously, Conrad must listen to this because how could he live without listening to it? So surely he can come back and tell us.
Actually, it's funny that we're talking about old podcasts because I was listening to Muse quite a bit before.
I love the fact that you categorize that as an old podcast. That's
They've churned out a shit ton of episodes in their
they're
amount
not
of
that
time.
old though.
Yeah, it feels like that when you've been listening to Josh What's His Face for so long. That guy, he really brought the.
Can we not have the personal comments, Benj? Please. I'm begging,
Well,
please.
Fine, okay. Never mind. Fine, it's okay.
Okay. Well, boosted damage lasted from 2009 to their last episode, which was 2013.
Oh,
Wow,
Yeah, we are now officially
old.
longer running. They, in fact, lasted just over 4 years.
do Alpha Strike still make episodes?
Did they actually? Okay.
I
haven't heard them.
kind of lost track of Alpha Strike once I.
Very.
This is getting very,
They started. Not
this
long
is getting
after
very much
us.
into sort of
I know that.
the guts of podcasting. I lost track of them once I had a purge of my podcasts because it got to the point where I had about 3 million unlistened War Machine podcasts. I just went through, deleted every single podcast on my device, and went, right, I'm only signing up to the ones that I'm actively listening to right now, which means that there are still podcasts I haven't listened to from that period, and I'm still working off a weird variation of the Muse on Minis feed rather than the full one, because that was part of the problem. Because when you have 43 podcasts all coming through the same pipe, and you had stuff like The Road to Wrong, if anyone remembers that. That was my weekly excuse to get angry at people while podcasting.
Okay.
I only listen to Crippled System and Lost Aspect, really, nowadays. They're the most entertaining out of the faux War Machine ones, as in they talk about War Machine for about 20 minutes in a segment and the rest of it's just bollocks like us.
I do have to say, I have no idea what Lost Aspect is.
It's,
No, I don't either.
It's all-female War Machine podcast. A lot of the co-hosts of Brian, Nathan, and I think even who is it now? I've just had a massive mind blank. But it's all their respective partners and other War Machine female players giving their perspective.
So yeah, Crippled System, Lost Aspect. Okay.
Yeah, it's about because they used Lost Aspect for a dummy episode that they did, and then they took that over as they started doing a few Girl Casts. called it Lost Aspect in the end. It's quite an interesting, different sort of take on the War Machine community in America. So
interesting.
Yeah, I'll give it a listen. They're 3 episodes in and going quite well. So I wonder how that will get misconstrued at some point. Everything I say will be misconstrued.
I was trying not to.
No, okay, that's fine.
It does happen fairly frequently in this podcast.
Oh, I've seen the Black 13th, by the way. The proportions look all right, apart from Ryan's head is bigger than her body, which is a bit weird.
They are. I would say this is going off topic, but there isn't really one, so
yeah,
let's roll with it. There has been a noticeable trend by Privateer in the last. When was the Troll redesign? Can you remember? It's when the plastic battle boxes came out. It's about 2 years, would you say, Kurt?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
About 2 years. There's been a noticeable trend in the last 2 years for Privateer Press to switch from what was originally much more of a 28mm true scale to edging ever closer to 32mm heroic.
I contest that a little bit. It always was heroic. Since the start, it was heroic. Look at the original Vlad.
True, in regards to stuff like the shoulder pads, certainly. But heroic as a scale usually more refers to the hands and the heads.
Yeah, but I think that's what drew me to it in the first place, is that it was more heroic. I like the especially Hordes more than War Machine. So original Hordes are original.
Like I said, I'm getting into technical terms there, because yes, the figures can look heroic, but when you're referring to heroic and true scale,
no, I mean I know what you mean, and they were more in the Roman style, Roman style of art. So if you go and look at, I suppose, the Greek, you go look at a Roman style of art, and it is heroic, it's overdone. You think the Greek artwork, and then you go look at Roman, and you go, oh my word. That's what drew me to it, but yeah.
See, I look at those early figures and I see them much more as closer to being human. And as we've gone on, we've gone.
I think the original War Machine stuff definitely was. So the original trenches, figures were. Maybe it's just because trolls were different. So maybe it's just because I was drawn to trolls, and trolls aren't human. So maybe you're right. There's a bit of a twist of.
We are getting closer to different things now. I mean, back in the day, you had your more realistic trenches and things like that, but you also had the sword knights that were heavily influenced by World of Warcraft. You could tell that they're just like the Paladin World of Warcraft or Warcraft 2 humans. But you've also got.
I'd say you got dates a little bit blurry there, but Warcraft 2 totally,
yeah. But then on top of that, you've got now stuff that's more like the Raging Heroes kind of stuff, which is that heroic-esque, really flamboyant models that are more fantasy-driven than based in reality.
Again, I was going to say, again, we're getting that confusion between a heroic model and a heroic scale. I totally get what you mean, and yes, I think you're quite right. We're moving to a more see. This is a problem. There's no clear word for saying. You can say, oh, it's a more fantastical approach. Well, is it becoming more fantasy? Well, no, it's still steampunky. But yeah, I kind of get you saying.
I know what you mean. You mean, yeah.
It's
proportions
bigger, broader brushstrokes in characters at the same time as we're getting the bigger heads and hands. Which is an interesting development, and also, in the case of the newer models, is making them a lot easier to paint.
Behemoth.
Is it?
Yeah, Behemoth is now feeling like a...
That is a model with an awful lot of detail and bits, and you would struggle to do that, I think, without digital sculpting.
I think his the circle caster, or was it the support caster? He did with the rocks floating around him.
Bradigus.
That was a Russ as well, and that I'm pretty certain it was. And that would never have been a physical sculpt. I don't think. I think I did talk to him a bit about, and he was quite impressed with the transition from his digital sculpt to seeing the final version of it. I don't know if it was one of his first, but he was quite astounded about how the process the other, and I think that would be very challenging to sculpt. Not the model itself, but the extra rocks and extra kind of other bits and pieces around him.
I think
what you can actually do, just to sort of cut you up, Benj. Sorry,
that's all right.
But what you can actually do with 3D sculpting is there is an element where you can sculpt something first of all that doesn't or can't physically exist because there is no support for it, and then work backwards from there. Whereas
there's also detail levels as well, isn't there?
Yes. Oh, well,
thinking about Spartan, for example, with digital sculpt. Spartan did all their dystopian war stuff in full CG design, and they there are steps in the middle of the ship that you could never sculpt if you sculpted in one piece or even sculpted in two pieces. There are little steps that you could never sculpt that come out through digital design, and little details that are just impossible to even conceive of.
I will actually say, regardless of the game one, I mean, I did want to love that game. I
did too.
I do deeply love their design department. Those sculpts for the dystopian warships are phenomenal.
I love them.
And so easy to paint as well. They are. I mean, I had the Empire of the Blazing Sun, which are all sort of very train based. But just the way everything was laid out and defined made it so easy to just put some base coats on it, run a wash over it, and without doing anything else, you had already a gorgeous looking model. I was like, what more do I need to do with this? And then you had the Mecha Squid that they did as well, which was again absolutely beautiful. I cannot speak highly enough of their design for what is a very small company.
Yeah, they're very local to me as well. Yeah. I do keep meaning to get more into that again. And I like the game system. I played Uncharted when it first came out and really liked it, and I kept meaning to get into it. I suppose not having a player base to play it with, or not seeking one out on my part, perhaps.
I think if I'd got a local play group and one that already knew all the rules for Dystopian Wars, I'd probably be a lot happier with it.
Coming to Oxford, it was really popular. Just not many people playing it now because nobody's asking for it, and the new edition of, obviously, MK3 came out.
Yeah, the evolution of the rules is what caused problems there, isn't it?
Yeah. Oxford is quite far away in some terms.
No, it's not.
For a weekday after work, it is, and also given that my local club is about 20 minutes away, and runs on the same day.
Terrible. Anyway, but Zakova was she had during SmogCon, they were talking about how they got two different sculptors to do that one sculpt, didn't they? There was was it her? They were talking about the new Cadre caster at the time, which she hadn't been released.
I would comment, Benj, but I didn't go to SmogCon this year.
Oh no, yeah, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
Speaking of which, yeah. You were dead.
My leg has actually finally today stopped leaking. Just throw that one out there. Good. So that was 8 months of healing.
Well, they were talking about how they hired an organic human sculptor and a more. Well, they hired two different sculptors for the model. Essentially, I can't remember what they termed the other one, and I was just wondering if she could have been really achieved in a. But then again.
That is a very interesting thing because, of course, I mean, yes, while you could, in some cases, share a model between two sculptors if they were close together, if you're talking about collaboration with, say, PP do use sort of some Spanish sculptors, I believe. And they've also got some. Well, they've certainly got some in Britain, in America, all over the place. For that one, it's a case of bundling up the files, sending them across, and going, "Yep, I can work straight from this." There's none of that. Okay, I've half sculpted this. I'm going to put it in a box with as much bubble wrap as I can get, send it to you, and hopefully it doesn't smash on the way. As we all know, that's what happened with the original Gudrun, where the original model is lost to time, and we have something that approximates it. So there's that interesting angle that they can now get sculptors to do just the bits that they're very good at. Because if anyone's listened to the quite good interview that Beasts of War had with Doug, what's the name of the sculptor?
I don't know. It's on my Facebook, but into F, is it? F, is it? Oh, let me just. I'll look it up one second.
Okay. Yes, because as that sculptor said when he was being interviewed at the European Masters.
Oh, Doug Hamilton.
Doug Hamilton, thank you very much. Certain sculptors have affinities for different races, different styles. Some will naturally gravitate to, I really want to sculpt Crix. I really want to sculpt Legion because that sort of organic, spiky look to things. But then some will want, actually, no, I want the sort of the clean mechanical lines of Cadre Warjacks or whatever. Obviously, they work on whatever they're told to work on, but it means that you can have something that's like, okay, we need someone who can do, has these skills for this part of the model, but we're looking for something different over here.
I think just the fact that the names are now becoming kind of household names, like we know that's Doug Hamilton, that's a Doug Hamilton sculpt.
Yeah.
That's oh God, what's his name? Who you were mentioning earlier, who did Una?
Russ.
Yeah, Russ, and we can now spot the artwork. I mean, it's the same as spotting the actual concept artwork as well now. So it's becoming a proper.
I would say there's always been an element to that. I mean, originally PP didn't really publicize their sculptors, which was certainly an interesting one. I mean, from the early days, we know that Kev White did the resculpt of the Satixis, for instance, because if you look at the faces, they're very clearly Kev White faces. He's got a very distinctive style with those. But they always publicized who their concept artists were and who their sort of main art piece artists were. I mean, a lot of them were Matt Wilson, Brian Snoddy. I'm trying to think who else was in those early days. And it was a very, very.
I can't think of anybody else.
Yeah, but it was a very.
The roles is the.
Well, I mean, art will always sell game systems because what is if you walk into a gaming shop without having done prior research and you look around, what's the first thing you're going to see? One part is going to be the models, and one part is going to be the covers of the rule books.
Yeah.
And if you see something like an Andrea Uderzo Forces War Machine cover, they are beautifully big, dynamic pieces that really give you a good feel for what's inside. You look at, say, the cover of the Cadre Forces War Machine, you have legions of troops scrabbling over rubble, and it's sort of hard-faced, haggard men being directed by Sorcerer, while massive warjacks kind of just crush everything in their path. But then you look at mercenaries.
Games have got board games. Board games have got that down as well, in the sense of on a broader sense, because generally speaking, you buy a box board game. You might buy their expansions and stuff, but buy tons of War Machine all the time, don't we? But you buy a box board game and you play it, but it's that cover art and cover design is arguably even more important at that point.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised how many games get it wrong, because I've certainly got games where I look at the cover of the box and go, that really does not do you any favors. I've got Brilliant little card.
Carcassonne's a really good example.
Yeah.
It's an awesome game that I've spent so many hours playing, and yet even though it's been bought out recently and there's been redesigned boxes come out, you still look at the box and go, "What is it?"
Oh, if you want the ultimate example, go and crack open a copy of Dominion.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Extremely popular deck builder. Kind of developed an entire genre of gaming purely off the back of its own mechanics. It has. I'm not going to say the art is bad. It's not. It's not bad. It's just massively inconsistent. It's all over the place.
I mean, German games are guilty of that. I mean, look at Power Grid, and that's an amazing game. And it has really basic art.
Yes, Power Grid's art does not sell it. I will quite agree with you. And I mean, certainly, I sold a copy of that to Matt Townsend. He was looking for something to play over a Christmas with his folks, and I went, well, it's a Monopoly. Why not try this?
I love that game, but it's very brown, very,
yes.
very industrial.
Well, again, when you try describing it to people, it's like, yes, this is a board game where you are dealing with the German energy market with a system of ever-decreasing and more expensive resources as you try to expand your network to more cities. One, it is the most German board game I have ever heard of. And two, it sounds dull as ditch water.
Yeah.
Is it a bit like, I've never played it, but is it like Ticket to Ride, but instead of trains, you're expanding your electrical network?
Kind of.
Yes, but it's
different mechanics. But
yeah, Ticket to Ride is quite a simple. So you can play Ticket to Ride with kids very, very easily. With Power Grid, they'd have to be good at maths.
Oh,
because Power Grid is not a sort of an instant hit fun game. It's one where you are going to have a tense 90 minutes bench.
Yeah, it gets even tenser with more people.
It's not a long game, but we have had proper, okay, so if I bid on this power station, I can't bid on this one. But if a higher number than that comes out, that one goes back in the pile. Right, okay, I'll bid on this one. And you kind of get this whole conversation. It's like, do I buy 3 coal and 2 oil, or 2 oil and 4 coal? And it is a fantastically involved game, one that you have to be in the mood for. But really,
your decisions can screw you over from the start, or they can.
I mean, it does have mechanics to get people back in there, and it is very clever about how it does that. Because if you're in the lead, it's probably going a little too deep into the mechanics, but bear with me. If you're in the lead, it has a very intelligent way of kind of working that out. Then you're buying resources last, and resources are always priced so that the last person buying has the most expensive resources, because the market produces a little each turn, and it kind of moves up a track depending on how many there are. But every person who buys, the track moves back, and it gets more expensive with each step. It's very cleverly done. And in the case of things like the North and South Korea board, which is a great mechanical system, we actually managed to get it so that someone needed both coal and nuclear fuel for their power plant. And what we did was we colluded to all buy all the coal in the South Korean market so that they couldn't actually get both resources at once, because you could only shop from one market at a time.
Yeah, it's a kingmaker game essentially as well, so you can all gang together.
It can be, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Power Grid. I will honestly say that if you like your board games and you've never played it, get your hands on a copy. It's a brilliant game.
Good.
So yeah, board game recommendations coming from the sculpting of Russ Charles. I I don't know how we got there. Can anyone else remember?
I don't know.
Art design.
Ah, yes, art design.
That's what we did.
But
Yeah,
yes,
and I diversified into board games because that seems to be more important. That those are eye catching, and then
Equally,
ironically, as you rightly pointed out,
Yeah.
there's an awful lot that dance when they're still popular and sell
Yeah.
loads.
Well, the interesting one as well is if you look at some of the bigger Kickstarter projects,
Yeah.
And I'm thinking specifically of something like Tokaido here, if you've ever seen that one. That has this wonderful, ultra clean style. I mean, the box is mostly white with a sort of little nice illustration in the middle.
Oh.
That sells on a phenomenal art style. I saw it once on tabletop and just went, yep, I have to buy this. It looks fantastic. And I've even got the deluxe edition where you have little metal coins replacing the cardboard ones, and you've got plastic figures for everything. It's very, very good.
I like those kind of Kickstarters when you get more tokens and things. Zombies Are Black Plague is a good example of all the extras you get that make it so much better than the standard box game.
Yeah. Well, it's the whole thing of you get your standard box game and you got like 1,000 one Koku coins. You got to punch out, and then there's a hole in the middle of them. And then just in this separate little box that is the deluxe edition that also comes with a CD of music to listen to while you're playing the game.
Okay.
They want you to have a backing track. And you just have this bag of very satisfyingly clinky coins. They can just drop them sort of on the desk as it drops. Like, yes, this is satisfying. I like this.
Cool.
Although, actually, we seem to be board game recommendations. So, if you want sort of satisfying sounding components, have either of you ever played Splendor?
No, but I've heard of it.
And tea.
Well, it's a game where you're. I'm just moving past that one. It's a game where you're part of the gem trading and cutting market. It's a bit of a pasted on theme, but
yes, I have heard of that. Never played it though.
But it's first of all, it's got some very nice card stock for the cards. But on top of that, all the gems in the game, at least in the basic version, are represented by very nice, heavy casino chips.
Oh.
So as you got them in front, there's that very satisfying clunk. Whenever you put them on the table, it's like, yes, this feels like a quality component. I'm happy with my purchase. And that is a very important point for a lot of games that they are pleasantly tactile. There is nothing worse than playing a game where you've got cheap cardstock that's bent in at the edges. You've got models that are kind of bent over double because they were left in the box for 2 minutes. Instructions printed on basically toilet paper in black and white. And we've all seen these board games. Let's not lie.
Yes.
Okay, I seem to finish my rant about board gaming.
I was going to say, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting where we were saying how important it is, and yet I find it quite interesting how we've actually argued against the original point and gone, actually, there were some really, really good board games that are really successful, people buy loads of, that have really quite, but unappealing art. And I find that quite interesting that we've kind of got.
I think in those cases, they're not the ones you'll buy when you go in the shop.
They're recommendations online. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the ones that there is, for better or for worse, there is a good gamers network online of people going, no, this game looks terrible, but trust me, you'll love it.
But then you've got things like D6G, D6 Generation, who I have to admit I haven't listened to any in a little while, but when I first got into looking at gaming podcasts, was listening to loads of those. And I think that's how, I'm not sure how I came across Carcassonne. I think they mentioned it and talked about it, and I picked it up. And it's those kind of people online, not just but there's forums, and there's so many. Board Game Geek is huge, isn't it? And
yeah,
so much material online about board games.
Well, the people at work are working through the top 30. They took a screenshot of the top 30 at the time as a kind of bucket list thing We've done quite a few of them. So I think that was before Scythe entered the market anyway, and basically destroyed.
Scythe?
Yeah, Scythe is really popular.
I've heard of it.
Destroyed the top.
I was going to say I appear to have lost touch with the youth.
Really?
Yeah. So that's my line.
That's my line. I've never heard of it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's very, very popular. And
I think I know why I've heard of it. I think Adam Tremblay has explained it to me at length.
It's a Kickstarter. It was massive. It's like
okay.
It's farming with mechs in like.
I'm looking at the components now and going, this is probably why I've not heard of it, because that's an awful lot of pieces.
It is, and the Kickstarter edition had all the specialty bits.
I've had a Kickstarter arrive in the last few days that was about a year overdue, and I now have 2 or 3 boxes of lots of little plastic aliens, which is quite nice.
What was it?
Very nice.
It's Project Elite.
Oh.
Which is a bit sort of it's a bit Zombicide, Super Dungeon Explorer-esque in a sense that the board game runs itself, but you play little Marines and a kind of aliens but not breaching copyright kind of style. You play Marines sent in to achieve a mission at different levels, and the board itself, the double-sided board. Well, I've got the expansions as well, so I've got 2 of these with different designs. The artwork is way better than I expected, and the artwork all the way through. All of the components. The box is the same. It looks all right. It's a bit busy, but the components are very nice. And they did most of the delay was them retooling and not redesigning, but configuring their finishing process. I think on the plastics was probably the best way to describe it. Because it went from they're all right to these are really nice. I have a ton of plastic aliens that are clearly not breaching Geiger copyright.
But that's the thing as well. We were talking about games doing, selling games on that artwork. They've also conned a lot of people with those art pieces as well. How they've never actually sort of reflected the actual quality of the game. Yeah. Or they've got nothing actually to do with
that will always be the case.
I mean, that's how AVP, that got a lot of people in, and then that ran into a lot of problems with, copyright of the actual intellectual property. It was the artwork, it was the whole universe of Alien getting that board game. But yeah, it was very lucky that game came to fruition in the end.
You appear to have gone off on a tangent, and I'm not sure where you've gone.
I don't know where I'm going. I'm really tired. And
you're low.
Kickstarter is often like that, isn't it? You do take a gamble with Kickstarter, you always do.
You do.
It can't all be exploding kittens, can it? Let's be fair.
No. Although, again, we were discussing that at work today, and that is not a 2-player game, apparently.
No, it's not. I have played it, but really you want 4 or 5 at least, really.
Yeah, you do.
By that point.
Yeah.
And it's
4 or 5 players whilst in a group doing something. It's a kind of it's a filler game more than anything.
Or it's a kind of an early evening where you're starting having a drink before you do something else. Yeah, I agree with that. It's good fun, but that was so successful. I mean, I think that is still the most successful Kickstarter, certainly the most gaming. So successful that you got a really nice little posh little box to keep it in that magnet closes and says meow when you open it, and because they went so far over what they expected.
Keep talking, Kurt, but while you talk about posh boxes, I have to get something, so bear with me.
That sounds rude, posh boxes.
I think the box is too far away for me to go find it and open it to make it go meow on the podcast, but it does go meow when you open the box. And there's an expansion due. I believe. What's he got now? He's back.
Yes, I am. Now, you at home won't be able to see this, but on the podcast, people will. This is the box for the board game I have just received.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Yep. And
It's a bit much.
for reference, that was a large wooden box.
Hitting his microphone.
That's what she said. Large wooden box.
Which makes satisfying noises. And
That's what she said.
the board game can be seen inside. There you go.
Okay.
That would be the game Secret Hitler.
Oh, I've heard of that as well, yes.
Yes. It's a bit like Werewolf or Avalon or any of those kind of secret role games. But I have the deluxe edition, which comes with... normally you'd have little placards in front of the President and Chancellor in the game. That one comes with wooden versions.
Nice.
Yes. It is a very... I mean, it's a simple game. There's like 10 cards and some bits. You could play it with scraps of paper if you wanted.
10 cards and some bits.
Yeah. Literally, you have a track for the number of players you have, telling you how many fascist or liberal policies you need to pass to win. A Chancellor placard, a President placard, and then cards that tell you whether you're liberal or fascist and which one of you is Hitler.
Cool.
Amusingly, it comes with a sticker to modify the Hitler card, in which case you can turn it into Donald Trump. Yeah. The other option is you can put a Santa hat on Hitler, so, you know.
Excellent.
Which is the lesser of two evils, though? Or Santa? You decide now.
My next one is that I'm looking forward to, that hopefully will arrive before Christmas, is Cyborg Cowboys Robbing Trains. Chibi.
Oh,
Cyborg.
yes.
Sci-fi.
Rail Riders.
Yeah, Rail Raiders Infinite. Yes.
Rail Raiders.
Rail Raiders Infinite.
I didn't put it into that because I didn't have the cash.
It's the only thing I put into this year. I'm not doing anything else and just gone. That's a must. The kids will play that a lot. Let's get that.
Well, I'm looking at what I have cash down for. I'm waiting for Super Dungeon Explorer Legends.
I didn't go in on that.
Temp Worker Assassins.
What?
Oh, you've not heard Temp Worker Assassins?
They literally must be running out of ideas of a name like that.
It's a worker placement game where you are the office temp and you have been sent to assassinate one of the other workers in the office.
Right.
It's utterly dumb and stupid, and it looks really fun. It's got kind of slightly fantastical office workers. If I just load the print and play, so you've got, where's the character cards? You've got the acquisition and merger Viking, the actuarial orc, the advertising barbarian, the complaints Gorgon, the health and safety halfling, the internal audit ninja.
Card game? Is this a card game?
Yes, part card game, part worker placement.
Right. Little meeples placed on a board kind of thing.
Yeah. The regulatory compliance paladin.
Oh my lord. Really?
Typing pool zombie.
I said, yeah. Regulatory compliance paladin.
Humans as a resource harpy.
What?
Yep. And you get weapons like the beveled edge keyboard. The remarkably heavy calculator. The compact disc shuriken.
Are these people just like marketing this to disenfranchised Dilbert fans or something?
I don't know. But I saw some of this and thought, I have to have this.
Anybody that works in an office should get that standard, I think.
Yes, that's one of the ones I've got at the moment. I've got the Dresden Files co-op card game coming as well.
Oh, cool.
Because I've started listening to those on Audible. And
I've gone right through all of them. They're awesome. James Marsden reads them, doesn't he? He's amazing.
Masters. Not Marsden.
No, Marsden's Cyclops, isn't he? Masters, yeah.
Yes. Although he seems to pick one word every book that he's not going to pronounce correctly. It just
Yeah,
makes you go,
I love it. There's book 12, I think it is. He doesn't do. There's one he doesn't do.
oh, he's gone back
And
and
it's interestingly,
he's gone back and re-recorded it.
that. Oh,
They've gone back now, so that
but
James Miles.
it does kind of work. It does kind of work because it is quite a different story.
Okay, but yes, the last one that I listened to is very good because there's a point where he steals something from a fairy queen and just does the Roadrunner meep meep and runs away.
Yeah, he does it as well, doesn't he? Yeah.
I nearly crashed the car. I was laughing so hard.
I've gone through it. I've gone through all of those in the car. There's really, and more than once. Some of them are really good.
Yes, I will say, I absolutely love the first one, but that was very clear that was something done for a bet because that was detective noir all over. You know, she had legs up to there and whatnot. Yeah. But the second one, Full Moon, was
good. How many different types of werewolf can you name? Yeah, they're very good.
I wasn't a fan of the second one, but after that, when it got to was it Grave Peril?
No, that's not third, is it? It's Rights or something, isn't it? Third. Well, I think they're blowing a Pratchett. I think.
Yeah.
I thought it was Vampire's third one anyway. Yeah. It is the.
I'm going to have to look at the wiki page now. You realise.
One. I do like. There's some awesome ones. There's I can't remember if it's 9. There's some. I think 9 might be my favourite. But you can't talk about it without spoiling it. So it's just awesome. There's good fun. It's slightly trashy and awesome. I do like Dresden.
It is extremely. I was right. Number 3 is Grave Peril. Stormfront, Full Moon, Grave Peril, and Summer Night. I just finished Summer Night.
Summer Night's the fourth one, yeah.
So Death Masks and Blood Rites are the next two.
And there's puns all the way through them for a while, isn't there? And they do it in the titles. Yes.
Oh! The series is so littered with just terrible, terrible jokes.
Yeah.
I love it to pieces for that, and it's.
I think up to 15. I don't know if they've got 16 come out this year. I can't remember, but I just look at it again.
I do have a preview of 16 in my inbox because I gave it to Kickstarter.
I'd also recommend, in a similar vein of audiobooks, the Joe Abercrombie as well, of the First Law trilogy and the subsequent books that followed it. They're read by Stephen Pacey. They're very good. See,
you're recommending this at the right time because I have my Audible credits coming in on Friday.
The First Lord Crombie.
Okay. I'll take a look.
Heroic fantasy. Good stuff. I read them and I got back and listened to them and they're very good to listen to as well. Stephen Pacey, I think, he reads them.
Well, I do have to say, since discovering Audible, long car journeys have become a lot more bearable.
Yeah, I think music's fine for half an hour, but I like audiobooks for much longer journeys.
Do you have any audiobook recommendations, Benj?
I only ever really listen to the Horus Heresy books on Audible version audiobooks. I was listening to.
They making me wonder if they ever did the Gaunt's Ghosts ones.
No, I don't think so. And they're never ever going to finish that series by the looks of it, either way.
Well, Gaunt's Ghosts actually. Do we have a topic? I mean, really.
Everything other than War Machine.
People are going to get very annoyed at this episode, and it's going to be wonderful to watch them.
Yeah.
They're going to sit there waiting.
This is our 5-year episode. We'll do what we want.
Yeah. It's our birthday, and we'll do what we want to.
Yeah.
But yes, Gaunt's Ghosts annoys me so heavily because I got to a certain point owning the books and then stopped playing GW games. Then I came back and thought, I should buy the rest of those books, and they're digital only now.
Really?
Yes, they don't. The last time I checked, they were not doing hard copy of Gaunt's Ghosts anymore. So if I want them, I've got to find them secondhand.
Off to Amazon.
And that is a right royal pain.
Yeah.
I appreciate, that obviously they don't want to be sitting on large amounts of stock. But there are companies who do print on demand now.
Yeah.
Surely they could just license them out and go, there you go. Give us a cut and we'll be fine with this. I just don't understand. I mean, yes, by all means, have an ebook. I don't mind them. You know, other people like them. That's fine. I'm not an ebook person.
I like audiobooks, but I also like paper.
Yeah.
I think on audiobooks, briefly again, the one I did go and get Blade on audiobook, which is written by Den Patrick, who ridiculous number of years. And the weird thing about that was it was an American reading the book, which is fine, except that I know the person that wrote it, and you kind of expect at least something vaguely close to his voice to be reading it, or at least British or something. And it was just like, I went, I can't deal with this anymore.
Yes.
I really tried to stick with it. And
this is very much like when I was listening to the Honor Harrington series on audiobook.
Is that Harlan Ellison? Is he right that? Is that what I'm right about that?
That's David Weber. Or Weber. I'm never quite sure.
Okay.
I'm going to say Weber.
I was thinking about that the other day.
But yes, that's read by someone who... They actually have an apology on the page that the book is on. This is my free introduction to Audible book. They have an apology on the page which says that, unfortunately, due to the author's notes not getting to the narrator, one word is mispronounced the whole book through.
Oh, dear.
And it's the main character's nationality. So instead of being Manticoran, for the entire book, she's Manticoran. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but when it's in, well, every single chapter, multiple times, because it's the Royal Manticoran Navy, it starts to grate a little. It also starts to grate even more, because I always imagine them as being, well, British, because they have a House of Parliament, they have a House of Lords, and they have a Royal Manticoran Navy. It's...
Also sounds a bit like instead of being a lion, it's a lion winged scorpion thing, which is kind of quite a cool thing as well, isn't it?
Mm. Oh, that is part of the entire point, because the system they're in has Manticore, Sphinx, and Griffin as planets.
Right. Okay. I've never checked those out. I've often thought about it. I know it's supposed to be kind of sci-fi trashiness. I've never really got into them. Do you like them? Are they good?
Did you ever read any of the Horatio Hornblower or Sharp books?
No.
Okay. Well, did you watch the Sharp TV series?
I do love that comparison. It's like Sharp in space, or Hornblower in space.
It basically is.
I know. That's what Gaunt's Ghost was there.
Yeah, it's that same sort of thing of following one officer's career over time and all the kind of the scrapes and misadventures they get into.
But Gaunt's Ghost was amazing. The characters in there for a GW, Black Library book, they were amazing, well written. Yeah. Dan Abnett's finest work, and it's really annoying that if that series ever finishes, well, we're one book away from completion, and it's been delayed for 2 years now. I know he's been going through like health issues, but he's also been working on everything under the sun. Doctor Who, 2000 AD. It's just fucking finish it. I don't know whether they just don't want to admit that he doesn't work for Black Library anymore or GW, whether they can afford his services.
I have actually just noticed this is very interesting. They're going through and republishing the Gaunt's Ghosts books.
What, in paperback, hardback?
In paperback with new covers.
Wow.
The third set of covers.
Yeah, that is the third.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, but they're only up to the Guns of Tanith.
Yeah.
Which means that's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's the first 3 books, isn't it? Yeah, that's in that.
4.
Yeah.
You got First and Only, Ghostmaker, Necropolis, and then Guns of Tanith.
Yeah. Necropolis was amazing.
And then after that, you've got Sabat Martyr, Traitor General, His Last Command. Is Double Eagle one of them?
Double Eagle isn't part of the series. It's a standalone thing.
Yeah, the problem is they have no browse this series button on the Black Library. That makes me sad. But yes, I genuinely do not remember the two black library books they've got before them in publishing dates. Insignum Astartes and Dead Men Walking.
Okay.
Because the first black library book I certainly remember was Into the Maelstrom.
Oh yeah, that was long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Can't remember.
Then again, they're never going to finish Heresy either way. So,
I was going to say, if we're talking long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, that is the cover that I had to First and Only.
Wait. Yeah. Wow, that's in good condition.
Oh yeah, that's been carted round. Oh God. Oh, okay, that's the bookmark. Yeah, that's been carted around with me for basically forever. Is that the publishing date in the front? Yes, first published in 1999, and this is the 1999 publishing. So that's 17 years old.
Nice.
I went and found my copy of The Killing Joke when the animation came out in July.
Ah.
Yeah, mine's quite a lot older than what you've got in your hand.
Did you buy it?
Sorry?
Wait, how old is it? Sorry, when did you buy it?
So I bought The Killing Joke. I bought the first edition of the Titan Books reprint of The Killing Joke, and I'm pretty sure it was 93 is the date inside the book.
Did you buy the movie that's come out?
I've watched the movie, yeah. I've watched the movie, yes.
What did you think of it? I haven't seen it
I
yet.
loved it. It was pretty good. I thought it was really good. It's really good. If you want slight spoiler, but really entertaining, watch Mark Hamill's hour-long piece from Star Wars Celebration.
I did. I did watch it. He was great.
He way above expectations. I watched it thinking this would be a laugh, and I got drawn into it. He was really good.
Yeah. I was doing something else at the time. I can't remember what it was actually.
It's on YouTube.
Wait, you missed
check it out. It's good.
You missed the panel.
We were only allowed 2 of the. I should say yes. I did go to Star Wars Celebration in London. Yes, it was great. But we were only allowed 2 of the panels in the big room every day. And I can't remember what was on the same day as Mark Hamill that I went to instead.
It must have been better than. I hope it was better than that.
Well, given that to get to the panels, and I kid you not, for the Star Wars Rebels panel,
yeah,
I got up at 5 a.m. I was inside the Excel Center before 6, and I was on the second set of queues because the first one was full.
Jesus. All right. I like Rebels. I don't like it as much as Clone Wars. But
I like it way more. I think it's better than Clone Wars. I think it's awesome.
Really?
I think the first season was a bit hit and miss. But
it was. I agree.
After that, when it became essentially the direct sequel to Clone Wars, phenomenal.
Yeah. Second season is really good. Third season looks amazing.
Yeah. Why do you not like Clone Wars that much?
I do like Clone Wars.
It's not that I don't like Clone Wars. Clone Wars is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just that Rebels is now really good because we're getting into the meat.
There's so many characters now that I do go, what?
It was the bit
awesome.
Where okay. Now, for anyone who is watching Rebels late and doesn't want to know spoilers, you want to shut your ears for the next 5 minutes.
Especially if you haven't watched the last episode of the second series.
Yeah, so when Ahsoka comes back, that's fantastic. When she has
I was so excited.
When she has the battle with Vader and breaks his mask, that is one of the best moments I've ever seen in Star Wars. Because there is that whole thing of her basically going, she hasn't really believed until she's seen that it was Anakin under the mask.
Yeah.
And then
she could feel him and she's denying it.
Yeah. And it's absolutely phenomenal. I will say that the atmosphere in the room at Celebration when they showed the trailer and Thrawn appeared on screen.
Yeah, how are they going to weave him into all this?
He's there anyway.
What do you mean?
Well, I can't remember that. I haven't actually been able to find the
But the thing it
Thorian
does say,
trilogy.
the thing it does do, and I suppose it was there anyway, is that the Grand Admiral that's in Rogue One is not him.
He's not a
No,
Grand
no,
Admiral.
it isn't.
He's not a Grand
No,
Admiral.
yeah. So do you mean this trilogy, Benj?
Well, I don't understand now where he kind of sits in the whole thing with the Thorian trilogy, if that's not canon anymore.
Yeah, the Thrawn trilogy is gone.
Right.
All the thing with the Nogri and the race that can block the Force and Talon Card, Mara Jade, that's all gone.
Mara Jade's gone. Mara Jade's gone.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
As far as we know, there is no Mara Jade replacement.
Okay.
And that's it.
Luke's been very lonely for quite a while.
Thrawn has been essentially borrowed from that as a new character. He has a lot of the same influences. So, for instance, the first time you see him, there's 2 reptilian statues behind him, sort of crawling on branches.
Oh, and now he's blue as well.
He was always blue.
Yeah.
I really
I
can't believe you for that.
That's for our listeners and not for me. There's 2 reptilian creatures on statues of reptilian creatures on branches behind him that are meant to be references to the force blocking creatures that Talon Card finds in the books. I realise I've just worked myself into a whole kind of Star Wars plot mire at this point, but what the hell? If you've not read the Thrawn trilogy and you like Star Wars, why?
I never have.
I have got the first book in an ebook, but I have not found the others, and I can't find them anywhere really else. I must admit I stopped trying after a while.
They are reprinting them.
No, okay. Why though? They're not canon.
No, they're part of the Legends line.
Oh, such a cash-in.
Also,
yeah.
Star Wars is huge. It's a new film all over again.
Timothy Zahn is coming back to do a Thrawn novel.
Oh.
Yes.
What, in the current canon?
The current canon, as his background.
Okay. Rebels has got better. Season 1 was a bit pants, but yeah, I really wish they had finished the Clone Wars at least before they axed it for what was Rebels. I don't think Rebels was ever supposed to be this good. I think they've really, especially with Rogue One and
I think the issue that they had was that they had to set up a new cast of characters before they could tell the stories they wanted to tell that was in that gap. Now the current rumor is that this is going to be the final season anyway. Either this one or the next one.
Well, because it ends at Rogue One.
Yeah, because you don't have much space to play about in there.
But there were so many stories from the...
They've already dated it really well with Princess and Lothal, haven't they?
Yeah. Yeah,
you can't get around that.
Yeah. I mean, there are rumours that after this, Dave Filoni will move on to a different point in the Star Wars continuity. Perhaps one that's post-Episode 7.
I mean, if Rebels is selling well, you'd think they'd keep going, wouldn't you?
No, they're gonna, because I think that's where Clone Wars kind of, it did drag on after a while.
Yeah,
it took a long time. Well, which is a shame because it got progressively better, and there were the storylines that they axed for the last season looks really interesting as well.
Well, actually, interestingly enough, a lot of the stuff in the upcoming season of Rebels, for instance, one where Darth Maul is training...
Is he not dead?
Oh, I've forgotten his name.
Ezra.
He's training Ezra on a sort of asteroid base. Dave Filoni went, oh, yeah. So, originally the model for this asteroid base was built for Clone Wars. And we had a whole plot about it where Darth Maul was going to go there and do this and do that. So what we did was we basically used that as our canon, which is why he knows about this place now, took the model we built for that, changed the art style a little so it fit with Rebels, and just reused it. So we have a set that's far better than most of what we can afford to do for Rebels, just for free.
Well, they got a smaller budget for this than they had for Clone Wars, then.
Rebels is the budget for Rebels is something like half what it was for Clone Wars. Clone Wars was a massive loss maker because even though it rated well and it sold merchandise, it was a George Lucas vanity project.
I'm so glad it exists, though. I'm so glad that we at least got as many seasons as we did out of it before they canned it. It made up for that whole prequel for me. The whole 3 movies of the prequel. The characters.
There was nothing to make up for.
What? Jar Jar Binks. Oh yeah, you're the great Jar Jar Binks apologist. I forgot.
No,
I'm not into Jar Jar Binks. I really enjoy Episode 3. I think Episode 3 is really good, regardless of anything else. It's just good. Episode 2. And just what? There's some small bits of it. So the asteroid chase is awesome. A lot of the Camino stuff's really cool. And but no, the whole getting married, no. And Episode 1 did not make sense until I became a parent, and then suddenly it went, oh.
I enjoy the whole series, start to finish. And if you're going to complain about anything, yeah, Jar Jar,
hippo cow things.
Jar Jar is on that list. The hippo cow thing is on the list. The Ewoks are on that list.
No, they will for never be.
Don't quote Simon Pegg at me. Don't quote Simon Pegg at me. No.
I'm sorry. Has anyone else here gone and watched Caravan of Courage?
No, we don't have to watch it. I grew up with the Ewoks cartoon TV series.
Exactly.
So did I.
Exactly.
They were awful then.
No, they were brilliant. They're like hamsters, but bigger.
Wookiees that didn't
I'm
grow
sorry.
up.
Are you just defending them because you are in fact a shaved Ewok, Ben?
I am literally a shaved Ewok. All my hair fell out on the head, and yeah, never mind. Yes, I'm a shaved Ewok. Everybody knows my shame.
It's your blog, isn't it? I'm a shaved Ewok.
I'm a shaved Ewok. It's like
Tumblr.
It's like Tumblr.
Oh, yeah,
hashtag.
Tumblr. I'm a shaved Ewok.
Yeah, there you go.
So if you're looking for Benj, shavedewok.tumblr.com.
Yeah, just Tumblr things. Hashtag just Ewok things.
Well, we did once plan, and this again is
what, a shaving?
No,
don't shave me. I won't ever turn up to a
we
tournament.
did once plan after going around the German market in Birmingham, starting a Tumblr that was just sad-looking market traders at empty stalls.tumblr.com.
I love the German market.
But most of it was great, but there's just these people who are just there with no one at their stall, looking sad. It's that I just want to take a photo of this moment to witness kind of the lowest mental point that a human can go to.
Oh. So speaking of
if
that,
anyone
how's
makes
Jimmy?
This far in the podcast, by the way, well done, because this is well beyond even Crippled Systems level of random chatter.
How is Jimmy, by the way, talking about the lowest point in humanity? No, because he did well at the. Didn't he do well at the tournament? Are you actually going to talk about the tournament? Because that's another hour and a half's worth of rambling, isn't it? He played Signar.
Given that I've rambled for about an hour so far.
I thought this was going to be a short one. I was looking forward to bed.
Oh, we say that every time, Benj. It never makes it true. Yes, all I can really say is Jimmy played at Nationals, where I was. But I think, for those who aren't aware, every September-ish, the UK has its National Masters. For the last, I want to say 3 years, it's been at Stockport.
Yeah.
Yes, it's got to be 3 years now. Oh, or maybe even more. For the last several years, it's been held at the Northwest Gaming Centre. Yes, it's been held at the Northwest Gaming Centre in Stockport, which is it's very much become now the kind of the second venue of the UK, I think, because you have Firestorm in the southwest of Wales, and then you have Northwest Gaming Centre in Stockport.
If I could take Firestorm and just take it out of Wales, I would do that. You know, just put it somewhere more central to me. That'd be brilliant. It's just so far away.
I actually wouldn't want to move Firestorm because I think it's part of what Firestorm is where it is. I think, and that's very important to it.
Cardiff. Very cool.
If I could basically copy paste the building and not move it, and have a second one sort of somewhere, you know, halfway between Oxford and Birmingham, I think I would, because the centre of the country kind of needs something like that, but it hasn't. So yeah. Anyway, off topic.
Yeah.
The UK National Masters was held in Stockport. It is a roughly 128-player tournament. I believe this year's turnout was roughly 110 once we'd had all their initial first day drops, which always happen because big tournaments, stuff happens. Whatever. This year we saw Signar take the top 3 places.
Oh.
And
apparently our meta's weird according to the rest of the world. So.
Whose idea was it to talk about this?
The final was Haley 2 versus Haley 2.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh,
also, now you've said our meta's weird compared to the rest of the world. Firstly, I can sort of agree because Britain is almost a halfway point between the European metas and the American meta. We've got enough of the podcast influence to get the American meta, but thinking-wise, we tend a bit more towards European-style lists. Hence things like Storm Lances turning up here when no one in the US would touch them with a barge pole because they were insane. And
Any good?
Well, Storm Lances they were fantastic. They've been made better for Mark III.
Yeah, they are the premium 20-point cavalry unit.
I don't understand what happened there because they were already good and they just made them better. Even worse, they made their lightning immunity better as well.
Yeah.
So now the Electroleap ignores them. Which I didn't realise until halfway through the tournament.
I've played against that and I realised that. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't even leak to the immune models anymore.
Yeah, it completely ignores them.
Yep.
It just
And Lattimore. If you take Lattimore as well, you might as well just
Lattimore, Firefly. There's a whole package there.
Yeah.
But yes, I would actually argue, and this is something I was thinking about before the program anyway, as possibly a source for discussion. I walked around that event. I looked at quite a few of the lists. I've since gone online and looked at more of the lists. And I have reached one conclusion about the current meta. It doesn't exist.
Okay.
There isn't one.
I've wondered that, to be honest.
We still don't have enough experience behind a lot of the players, especially at big, widespread tournaments, to have a full-on meta. Yes, we have some power casters that we know, oh, this cast is good. But within them, there's an awful lot of, oh, this cast is good. I'm going to put it with trenchers. No, I'm going to put it with storm lances. No, I'm going to put it with storm blade. And you kind of, just taking Signar as an example, because that's what was running around my brain at the time.
You love Signar now, that's what it is. I see.
Well, given that I'm planning Mercs for the weekend, that's not quite working. But there's all these casters that kind of have, they've got little bits in common, like going for Mercs, because that's what I've been browsing today. You've got the Osram Gun Bunny list that's kind of forming, but it goes between 4 Gun Bunnies and 8. And in fact, Jason, who is one of the judges at National Masters, was running it with 10.
Wow.
Yes. 10 hand cannons that every turn get free, boosted attack and damage rolls. Yeah. And with Osram, They also have Energizer, Hammer Speed 5.
Yikes.
And you can give them Bulldoze.
What are those again?
Pardon?
What are those things again?
Gun bunnies.
Oh, right. I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, little 6-point light jacks.
Yeah, I know what they are, yeah.
Yep.
I wasn't paying attention properly.
Yep. So, having seen those lists, I saw a fairly decent Cadre player. Cadre didn't fare too well, which is interesting because the Americans seem to think that they are possibly the best faction at the moment, along with Retribution and Signar, which we'll get to. One Cadre player who's doing fairly well turned up there with Karchev and all the character jacks and just said, yep, I'm going to walk forward, I'm going to hit things in the face. And it kind of worked.
That is the other angle, though, isn't it? That, as you say, not as much that there isn't a meta, is that there's supposed to be the case with Mark III that everything does work.
I'd argue that not everything works, but I would also argue that, yes, a lot more things do work that you'd look at in Mark II and go, I'm not taking that. That's blatantly stupid. It's like one of the lists I'm planning for the weekend, sadly, before I found out my Idrians were missing from my PG order, was going to be Epic Magnus with 6 Warjacks. You'd never take that in Mark II.
No.
You might take, Epic Magnus with a Colossal, and that would probably work. But I was going, yeah, okay, so if I take Epic Magnus and give him 2 Rovers and 2 Nomads and 2 Renegades, yeah, that looks about right. It just wouldn't work in Mark II. And again, the fact that I was considering is my primary unit, Idrians, which, again, Mark II, you couldn't really take with Magnus all that often. But now they're just a standard unit. And, yeah, power 15 guns are a thing. Go them. I don't know. What are your two thoughts on this meta, lack of meta?
I haven't seen tournaments, so I can't really comment. I mean,
what have you seen of local lists?
I've seen.
I mean, you listen to podcasts, or at least podcasts that mock the proper podcasts.
Yes.
So you've got to have some idea of what you think should be out there. Is that matching with what you're seeing at your local club?
I am seeing, I don't know, my local clubs. I'm seeing some of those American lists replicated. I'm seeing a lot of people trying to use the basic sort of jacks that are available in faction in multiples, like the Crusaders and the Ironclads, because they are, cheaper but heavies, less Colossals.
Now that actually, you've hit something on the head, smack bang, that I've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
The almost complete wipeout of Colossals.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Now, if you look at the Colossals, on paper, they are still as deadly. In many cases, they're slightly cheaper. But then you think, well, hang on, that's 39 points. So for the same as that, I could get a Renegade, 2 Nomads, and a Gobber Tinker to fix them with. And I'm getting 2 extra free focus every single turn.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, that equation that made the Colossal such a fantastic investment, because it was, I only have to power 1 Warjack, suddenly works against it, because it becomes, I'm getting 2 fewer focus every turn.
Yeah.
And with I don't know whether there's increased access to things like Field Marshal and Battle Group spells or not. I know I'm certainly finding that things like Epic Magnus's Field Marshal Unyielding, which, why does this exist? I'm not complaining, I'm just wondering. Stuff like that really does encourage you to go, well, actually, I'll just take some cheaper jacks, but more of them.
Mm. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, have you had any playtime with your trolls yet, Kurt?
Yeah, I went to a tournament and stuff, and yeah, I've had I went to the little tournament we talked about last time, I think.
Yes, quite. So
Outside of that, no, not really. So played against, but you just see a bit of everything. People are either playing with whatever they've got, whatever they fancy. I mean, I'm finding the same with making my own troll lists. It's kind of trying to learn. This is almost what put me off with Mark III. Is I suddenly went, I have no idea what to play.
I am finding that there is a. I don't want to say it's a problem, because it's not, and it's a very interesting thing to have to consider. I'm finding that I have to be much more selective with what I go with each caster. So previously for Mercs, I could go, well, I'll take this caster, and I'll take Nis because they're good, and I'll take either Gun Mages or Kayazi because they're good, and let's put the Colossal in there as well. And the list kind of almost builds itself. You can, you're taking the good bits. Now I look at it and go, okay, there's no real outstanding thing here. Okay, what does the caster have? Okay, what
and on top of that, there's no
from that
theme list to kind of drive you in a certain direction either. There's no kind of, well, if I do this, then that's free, and that's free, and that's free, and this is extra points, and that's extra. There's none of that either. So I did an awful lot of that, and that's all gone.
Well, I have access to 2 theme forces, only one of which I have the pieces for. In the fact that I have both, because I play Mercs, I've got access to Operating Theatre and Kingmaker's Army. Now, I'm looking
I don't even know what those mean. Where they come from in no quarter?
Operating Theatre is in the Mark III rulebook, because otherwise Cephalics aren't playable at all.
Oh, see.
And Kingmaker's Army comes from no quarter, because that's it's essentially a theme force that Magnus uses when he's working for what's the new Signar King's name?
Not
Benj, Fluff Bunny.
What?
What's the new Signar King's name?
Julius is in it as well.
There we go, Julius. Yeah, but yes, the Kingmaker's Army, just for reference. So it's got composition rules, which says an army made using this theme force can include only the following mercenaries: Captain Bartolo Montador, Captain Damiano, Drake McBain, Magnus Warcasters, non-character mercenary warjacks, Steelheads, Crow's Cutthroats, Boomhowler, Dirty Meg, Kel Baylock, Madeline Corbeau, Orin Midwinter, and Rallick Morclaw. So that's the list of those. And the benefits are it can include long gunners, rangers, and trencher infantry units. For every 20 full points of units, 1 solo can be added for free. Warrior models and units gain feign death. And Boomhowler and Co. gain ambush.
Wow.
Yeah, you say wow, you've not seen their stats in Mark III.
Yeah.
I have, but I can't remember them. Yeah.
Oh boy, speed 5 and armor 15.
But
tasty.
they still
Welcome to Trolls.
they can still tough on the ground though.
Yeah, but they don't have 4 up tough anymore, so it's not as relevant.
No.
However, Boomhowlers with feign death.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, I'm tough. Yeah, you've knocked me down. Oh, you can't target with ranged or magic. Sucks to be you. But yeah, so that's the new style of theme force that you're getting, which, I'll be honest, that's much more open than the last ones were. Because the last ones, you had to sit there and think, okay, if I have this, 3 of these units, I can get 1 free solo that's like this. Whereas this one just goes, do you have 20 points of units? Great, have a free solo.
I really wish I'd have played, some of those factions that did have some of those broken tier lists in Mark II. Free stuff is just wrong.
9 points of free trolls.
Yeah.
Count them. Count them. You can get 11 if you
Count-
really wanted to under E.
Yeah.
Well, they've worked out that the maximum number of points you can get from Kingmaker's army is, I think, 17.
Wow.
3 points.
Yeah.
So a quality heavy warjack amount of points.
Yeah. You're basically getting Stannis Brocker for free, Kel Baylock, and Orion Midwinter.
Now I really want to see some of my factions books right now and see what free shit I get.
The problem is that to do that, you've got to take 60 points of units.
Ow.
And when those units are limited to like 4 or 5 choices, that gets awkward real quick. Also, it means you're taking Stannis Brocker.
Ah, good old Stannis.
You rubbish now, is he?
He's free, but there's a reason he's free.
What, the model's free? Quick, get to your local game store. Get your free Stannis rocket.
Stannis is okay, but for 7 points, you sit there and think, why?
Yeah. It's not like Game of Thrones Stannis.
No. Well, just for reference, he's got a hand cannon. He's got a 2-inch range PNS 12 sword. Nothing spectacular.
What's his mat and rat though? That's the most important.
7,
7 what?
7-6.
It's not bad. At least it's not 5.
It's okay. He's got cleave, so he can make 2 attacks. He's got defensive strike, reposition 3. But the reason you take him is for tactician steelhead.
Assuming you took it before.
Yep. And the exact same reason that I stopped taking him, because I realised if I'm intelligent with my positioning, I don't have to spend 4 points on this large-based model that people can shoot through my army, and therefore means that I can't rely on him.
Yeah.
I looked at Stannis Brocker and just thought, no, there's better ways of spending those points. It's like when I looked at Epic Alexia in Mark III and just thought, with the loss of Ghost Shield, she's down to armor 16 all the time. I can't rely on her. No, not doing it. Sorry. It's a couple of pieces for Mercs. Maybe a little bit of a pep up in the next balance. Have either of you found any models that you think could do with a little bit of a polish in your factions?
Yeah. Not yet.
Not even the Digmies?
Oh, God, I've just ignored them now.
There we go.
Well, the trouble with the Digmies.
They were. Absolutely.
And that's the bottom line. They were too good before. They've been kicked about with the fucking nerf hammer.
The design space baseball bat, please.
Oh, can we get off the designs for? I hate how PP took that and owned it and like made it a fucking meme. It's just, it's covering incompetence with laughter in some cases because, I mean, some units, I don't understand why some units have got the power creep and some have gone back. Why didn't they just try and level the field? I mean, deliverers are...
I think that's what they've done. I think that's what they tried to do. No, that's exactly what they tried to do. What you just said is exactly what they tried to do.
Really? Some units are still unplayable. Yeah. Even their UA that they brought out to try and make them playable just makes them meh. Deliverers, I'm using that as the main example. They are completely pants.
Are they really cheap again? Have they gone back to really cheap, though?
I don't think so.
Because Mark 1, they were crap, but they were really, really cheap.
I would say that from my experience in Mercs, from what I've seen so far, there's very little I would classify as completely unplayable trash. Certainly with the frontline units, and I don't think that's something you could really say in Mark II. There was stuff like Sam McHorn and the Devil Dogs
Yeah.
that just never saw the table because they weren't very good.
They lost all their stacked up abilities that they had in Mark 1.
Yeah. Whereas now, instead of having to run in, net a warjack, knock it down, and then they get the trash die when it's knocked down, now it's just you get an additional die of damage against constructs. End of.
The one thing that I don't understand is mass healing rules, especially with a lot of single wound infantry. We were discussing this, how Gibbs that's coming out, the new Lely Solo, why is that so good when most things are single wound infantry? It's so corner case that heal will make a massive difference in the game.
There is one model for whom that Gibbs really works, and that is Striker 2.
Alexia?
No, Striker 2, because it means that he can do a 2-die run into a colossal, knock it down, take 10 points of damage, and then Gibbs just comes up and goes, "You're on full health," and immediately that huge threat to him just goes away.
But okay, I can understand. So that's for one. I mean, you can use that for many casters and examples if they're going to have to take some free strikes or something like that to get to a target, or on a feat turn or whatever. But the idea, for instance, bastions of sharing the health damage around, 8 boxes was a bit much, but 5 boxes you're generally taking off a model each time, so they're never going to get that heal from the bastion seneschal, for instance.
I don't find that with the five wound troll units. I still find they survive. They take 2, 3, 4 damage and they're still there.
I've got to say, mostly what I saw with the bastions was I'd hit something and it would do 3, maybe 4 points of damage. You have to really wail into them.
You want them dead most of the time, generally, because they're an expensive roadblock now. You're definitely hitting them, and they're only 16 arm, and you're generally using effects that will...
See, you say they're only 16 arm, but I used to play the demo core.
Right.
And they were armor 16. They were lower def than bastions.
8 boxes, though.
I'm talking about Mark II here.
Yeah, didn't they have 8 boxes, the demo core?
Yeah, they have the same number of boxes as bastions. And people were still struggling a lot of the time to get more than 2 or 3 points of damage at a time on them. I can appreciate, yes, this is Mark III, it's an all-new war, yada, 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 so on and so forth. But I can't accept, I've heard this from multiple times, I can't accept on the face of it, the whole bastions are unplayable trash stuff.
I'm not saying that. Not saying...
maybe not from you, but I'm just saying that's what I've heard multiple times.
I'd rather take Cinerators this day and age for the Vengeance now, which...
I'm sorry, I want that printed out on the wall. Okay,
that's fine. I will. They've got a range 2 sword now. They've got 1 extra arm. They don't...
Ooh, range 2.
Yeah. They've got range 2, so they have reach, essentially.
That's a big one for Cinerators.
Yeah, I know. And speed 4 essentially becomes speed 7 if they take any damage, and so you can get them up the board slightly quicker. And you still want to take them in armies with Crusaders, cool, and stuff like that, but
this is part of what they said was the design philosophy between a lot of the factions as regards their medium-based infantry, of which Mercs have basically none, other than the
Ogren. Yeah.
But no, they said in cases of factions where they have multiple medium-based infantry, so you can look at things like the Skinwalkers and the Tharn. You've obviously got the Warders and the Champions. You've got the Bastions, the Incinerators, where they're trying to differentiate out the different roles among them. Now, you have, for instance, in Menoth, you've got the Incinerators, who are clearly meant to be the more offensive one of the two. And at the same point, you've got Bastions, who are meant to be the more defensive, because if you need something to stay alive and be a roadblock, it's far easier to actually say, you know what, this model needs to stay here between me and you, so I've got a chance of staying in this game and making you waste your resources on it. Which is something you just can't do with the Incinerators, for instance.
Yeah, the Incinerators, I don't understand when Storm Knights, for instance, became Storm became a noun, basically. They can affect the Stormclads now, can any Storm variant, to get that nice accumulator thing going and basically make a Jack self-sufficient. Yeah. Why didn't Bastions just become Bastions? Why? So that, for instance, the Seneschal could heal them, get rid of that Sanguine Bomb thing, which is a bit pointless now because they do generally enough damage now to kill a Bastion if they're going into it.
I'm not sure what you're saying with that one. You have to recap.
Sorry, the Bastion Seneschal only heals Bastions, not Bastion Incinerators. Why not make that like they did the Storm Knights, which now every Storm thing can affect a Stormclad?
Because... okay. I think I can see the design philosophy behind this one. I may be reading too much into it, but bear with me. With the Storm nouns, you're actually still looking at only affecting one model. Mm-hmm. You're getting that effect from multiple things, but it's still only one model, and it doesn't change that model's purpose. It just gives it a focus, which it can use to do the stuff it would do normally. With the Bastions and the Incinerators, if you make the Incinerators heal, suddenly you're giving them a bit of the defensive advantage that you've tried to plant quite firmly onto the Bastions themselves.
And the Bastions, yeah.
I can see what you're saying, but I can see if you're going to make subsects, why not make them... That one focus that you're saying just does what it does. That's one less burden off the Warcaster, and that focus is an extra point towards a spell. It's 5 points of damage mitigation.
Yeah. But regardless of which unit you have, it's not changing the relationship of that Warjack and that Warcaster with each other. They're still doing the same things they always were. And then you've got a unit on the side that doesn't really care about either of those things because it's got its own defined purpose over here. It just so happens that it's close enough to give an extra focus out. Whereas with Healing Incinerators, you are then changing the purpose of that unit.
They're supposed to be survivable. That is the whole point of Bastions and
they're
Incinerators.
They're the survivable forward infantry. This is the thing. If you look at all the factions... You've got champions are your offensive, heavy trolls, whereas warders are the defensive ones. You've got skinwalkers, which are the defensive circle heavy infantry.
See,
but you've got Tharn,
Trolls got hit by this. Trolls got hit by this during Mark 2. So warders got clarified, if you like, for want of a better word, before Mark 3 came out. So,
warders, as they originally came out, were horrendous.
Champions didn't exist. You don't need champions anymore because you've got warders that does the job of everyone.
Yeah. Whereas now, they've taken away the Weapon Master and they've said, okay, these warders, they're going to be, they're not going to hit us hard, but they're going to stick around for a good long time. Whereas your champions are going to be up in the face, smacking with hammers. Kind of stuff.
And they're still pretty hard. It's still pretty sturdy, but
yeah.
I see the Incinerators not as an offensive unit. I still see them both subsects of the Bastions. Bastion in itself is a rampart, basically. And Menoth is more of a defensive reactionary force than it is.
But they are still trying to give them differently defined roles.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. One of the key design philosophies with Mark III was that no two things should have the same role in a faction.
Okay.
And I actually agree with where they're coming from on that one, because it was the case in Mark II where you could look at certain units and go, well, yes, I would take this, but this is just a straight-up better version that does the same thing.
Champions and Warders.
Yeah.
Why would you ever take Champions in Mark II?
But now, why would you ever take Bastions in Mark III?
Because they're more defensive.
They still are expensive, slow, and that heal ability is pretty pointless now.
But if they are defensive, it doesn't really matter that they're slow. They're there blocking lines of sight to things. They're there, sticking around. I mean, you say that that 5 points isn't enough, but I'd have to say, from what I've seen so far, that kind of stuff has more of a chance of hanging round than anything else.
Did you see them in lists at the Nationals?
I'll be honest, I didn't exactly look at a lot of the Menoth lists because I'm not a Menoth fan.
No, I mean, from playing them, I do like them. I took them in a min unit as a sort of buffer for Harby, but
I was going to say, isn't taking them in a min unit really removing a lot of the benefit of Sanguine Bond?
It is, but they're expensive, and you've got Power 11 Weapon Masters at the back at least that you can use as a last line roadblock that can heal with the Seneschal that you've got in there for defensive strike. So, I don't know.
I think if you are going to take the Bastions, ideally, you'd take the full unit.
You would, ideally, but that 6 points is also Vilmon, which is a shield guard in that list as well. And you can martyr, obviously, as well, the damage. So taking them with Harby is not a bigger deal in a min unit as well. I would try and take them as a maximum
So what you're
unit.
saying is you keep them round and start healing them up so people really have to concentrate on them to take them down.
But
Interesting. I mean, don't get me wrong. I get where you're coming from, Benj. And Bastions, you're quite correct, aren't as good as they were in Mark II. But in Mark II with Harbinger, they were
awful.
Miserable.
Yeah. They were miserable.
I have actually run out. I ran out of Death Clock the last time that I played Harbinger because I could not chew through Bastions fast enough. Mm-hmm. And I had almost an entire army that needed to get around them to get to Harby because that was all they had left. I couldn't take the scenario because they were just blocking me out, and it was infuriating to lose like that. They were a miserable unit to face. Now, maybe there is some scope for making them a little bit hardier, and that's fine if Menoth players are all kind of feeling that, but it's interesting as to what we will see in this first balance patch that they've promised us.
Yeah, I'm very interested, and as we were discussing before, I hope that it's edited well. I hope there's no weird rules interactions. I hope as designed as intended, but doesn't necessarily mean it works. Kind of lingo talk and Will Hungerford and Will Schick having
let's not name names here.
Okay, sorry. No, but those two go off on a tangent when they're trying to explain what their design philosophy is if those two are together.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have enjoyed what Privateer have done. I think that a lot of what's gone into Mark III has been a really positive thing. But, as we discussed earlier, and we'll probably keep discussing, proofreading. I mean,
education.
You can't even say that Mark III is pretty egregious in what it's done because of flank and gang, which were and the charge rules, which working as intended.
Still don't understand what the difference is.
What do you mean? What the difference was? The
What's
difference
wrong with the charge rules?
The charge rules as they stood meant you could never charge a stationary or knockdown model because you would always fail.
Yeah.
Because you would reach melee range, stop, but because you weren't engaging them, you have failed your charge.
Got you, yeah.
Oh, by the way, just a weird interaction. Well, I'm probably just getting this wrong anyway. Can a model without a melee weapon have a melee range?
In what regard? I need specifics.
Gatecrasher.
Yeah, his weapons count as...
Kane has a melee range.
Does it?
Yes. Because Kane has Gunfighter, which gives a model a 0.5-inch melee range.
Does he have that in... I can't remember the card. I saw Gatecrasher and then I saw that he doesn't have a melee weapon, and then I just read the rules and I was just like, does he actually have Gunfighter still?
Yes.
Oh, okay, fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't notice the Gunfighters.
Although the rules for Gunfighter, as I was questioned on at least twice at the weekend, have changed quite significantly. Because now, if you're engaging someone, you've got the half-inch melee range. However, let's say they have a 2-inch melee range and are just clipping your base. Previously, you'd have had to walk in to be able to shoot them. Now, if they are engaging you, you can fire back without moving.
That's weird. How does that work when unyielding means that you have to be in combat with them and not vice versa? If you've only got a half-inch and they've only got a 2-inch, you don't get unyielding.
Good point.
What do you mean, how does it work? They're different rules, Benj.
Yeah, I know, but because Gunfighter, you'd have to be in that 0.5 to use it.
No, that's not what it says. It says that you have a melee range of 0.5 inches, but that you can make shots against anyone engaging you. It was to stop the abuse. It was to stop the abuse people could do by putting 2 models next to you, and then putting a third with reach slightly further away.
Right. No.
So that you would never be able to melee that further away model. Whereas now you can just go, I'm just going to shoot you. But it also means that if you're engaged and someone outside of combat isn't engaging you, you still have to target the ones that you're in melee with first.
Right.
There is a logic to it, even if it's one that judges will be explaining until they die.
It does seem finicky, but
well, no, it's perfectly cromulent. What are you talking about? There we go. One for the Simpsons fans there.
What was the other word? What was the other one that they used? There was cromulent and
Quijibo.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. A tall, balding American ape or something like that.
Quijibo.
Oh yes.
Yes.
That one I remember.
Yes. There you go.
Oh, embiggen. That was it. It's a perfectly cromulent word.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah.
From back when The Simpsons was good.
Yeah.
I would say that's controversial. It just isn't.
No, it's not. It's the truth.
I've watched Modern Simpsons. It's bad. It's very, very bad.
They're still making them.
Yeah, it's just full of cameos now. Like every episode.
They are still making The Simpsons. The cast are slowly dying off around the show. I'm sorry,
my ability to solder is failing me.
Your ability to solder?
Yeah, I've stopped painting. I'm soldering. Well, I'm soldering really badly is one thing.
What are you soldering?
Yes.
He's making his own tiny pinball machine.
That's funnier than it should be.
So you can look like an extreme giant while he's playing it.
Oh god!
It actually uses, hundreds and thousands of the balls.
Well, right. What didn't we just get off from nationals? Because weren't we talking about nationals and then it just like went a bit?
We were
Weird.
talking about nationals, but yes, that's what sprouted the whole "there is no meta" conversation.
Right.
Which I still think is valid. I don't know. We'll have to see what the audience think.
I'm sure they'll post threads calling us all idiots at some point.
Oh yeah, well that's how this works.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, we turn
Welcome
up.
to the internet.
Yeah, we turn up, voice our opinions, and everyone says, "No, you're wrong." I'm like, fair enough. Probably are. No sweat off my back.
As long as you care more than us, that's what's important.
They listen enough. They care enough to listen in the first place. Then write their diatribes.
Judging by the last 2 episodes, there's at least 1,000 people listening to every episode. And...
Jesus Christ! I bet someone downloads it at like some bloody torture camp and plays it to, Guantanamo Bay style, like instead, not the death metal. No. All right, fine. Let's put Elite Cadre. No.
I'll tell you anything you want to know.
They've done a supercut of 3 hours of Ben Hansen being sad.
Yeah.
I hate my mental. They're just really shit.
No.
No more. Make it stop.
No, I hate the fact that I invested in two and a bit units of Bastions. That's why. I love the models though. Fuck it, whatever. YOLO. You're only men off once.
YOLO.
Wouldn't that be YOMO?
YOMO. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, is that a podcast?
I'm calling that.
Oh, shit, but
It is literally, there is a man in a cell somewhere screaming at the fact that he'll have to listen to another episode again.
Yes, I did once calculate how many hours of this podcast have gone out, and it's frankly an unhealthy amount. I think we are now breaking 200 hours.
The Attorney General.
So, at some point you have spent around about 8 days of your life listening to this podcast, if you've listened to it start to finish.
Which means we've spent like 2 weeks of our lives recording it.
Yep.
Just think what you could have done with that time back.
Well, just think of it this way as well. Because of the unique way in which WordPress works, don't ask me, it's not my fault,
Mike's not really good with technology.
Only 42 of the podcasts are available. So if you want to start listening, you have to start listening from episode 30.
Oh.
Okay.
And when this one
That's
comes out, you'll have to start listening from episode 31. They are available on our website. There's an archive of them. But they're not available through iTunes or the RSS feed.
Okay.
From what you were saying earlier, it's probably best the first lot aren't really available.
It is definitely for the best.
Okay.
No one listens to those first at least 5 episodes because they make me sad inside.
There's a special place in Hell Reserve here if you do.
There's a special place in Hell Reserve for the people recording them. I mean, I know that there's the whole thing of, you get better over time, but sweet Jesus.
I don't even know what you mean.
Okay, I will see if I can get that first episode up on YouTube. Because
We just want a sample. I think we just want
just
highlights.
Just like 5 minutes.
I am not editing those highlights. You can.
No, I didn't mean that.
Them.
Oh.
So.
I see it's like that, is it?
Yeah,
Yes.
you've been told.
Anyway.
I have.
How do we sign out of this show?
Well, we did this without a break, didn't we?
No.
Yes, well, we've quite often done that. We don't always go for a break anymore, especially when Alex isn't here to tell us we should do spelling it out.
Yay!
No, spelling it out. Oh, never mind.
I'm not doing spelling it out now.
No.
This is. There have been several episodes like this that I believe they're generally called No Agenda. There's like
this one did not generate. Before Benj came on, I thought we were going to have another welcome to Good Mike's Film Hour.
Yes, there are several of those as well. I believe they're the ones. They're the ones that are regularly titled "Just the Two of Us."
Just the two of us.
Oh, sorry for interrupting. Have I walked in on something, guys?
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
You're quite welcome, Benj.
It's fine, Benj. You're fine. We'll do it anyway.
Pudding. Sorry.
They're the ones that are regularly titled "Just the Two of Us."
Pudding.
Then we have From the Archives, which is stuff I forgot to edit, which sat around for months and months and is probably irrelevant, much like the rest of the podcast. And then what's the other regular one we have?
I don't know.
It's From the Archives, just the two of us. Oh, No Agenda. That was it.
Right.
Which is the ones where we basically just start recording and then ramble on until we're pretty much done. And the last one of those was episode 52. So it's been almost...
wow.
Oh, it's been over 2 years since the last one of these.
We need to get to triple digits.
Yes.
That'd be fun.
But to get to triple digits, we have to end this episode first.
All right.
Alex, sign us out. What? Hang on, wait.
Where is he?
You've been listening to me swearing at my soldering iron.
You've been Elite Cadre listening to... No, that's not right. I'm so tired. Honestly.
This has been Ben Hansen's Agony Hour.
Oh, can we talk about Overwatch? Can we talk about Overwatch?
No more Overwatch.
I love Overwatch. It's amazing.
I would love to play more, but I just don't have the time. I'm so tired.
Everybody buy the new Reinhardt skin. It's amazing.
I prefer Stoneheart.
No, you're wrong.
Good. You have been listening to Elite Cadre by these two Babylon. General War Machine Hordes gaming podcast that doesn't take itself too seriously. I've been Kurt.
I've been Mike.
I've been Benj.
Bye.
There you go. No Alex, no nothing.
No nothing.
To be fair, we did kind of abandon that general gaming thing. It just went back to being War Machine Hordes.
But this one doesn't barely that.
There's some good content in there. You just have to find it.
You're going to have to sift hard.
Oh, no. Well, hang on. I'm doing barely any editing on this one. This one is going to be a joy to edit. Because what I will do is I will look for the waveform. I will look for the waveform that means I'm saying hello and welcome to Elite Cadre, because sadly, after 70-odd episodes, I'm getting used to seeing that specific cough. Hello and welcome to Elite Cadre. And then all I have to do is look for the point that's 2 hours, 40 minutes further on. Admittedly, that timestamp doesn't quite work because I'll use truncate silence first to make us sound witty.
Oh, yeah, that's how that does.
Pithy, yes.
I think it's pissy for a second.
Had you not worked out we were doing that on all our previous episodes?
No, I thought it was like...
Yeah, that's how we sound intelligent and funny.
Oh, fuck me.
I love the fact that you listen back to one of the episodes and go, oh my God, it sounds so much better. It's like, yeah, that's like 2 buttons.
No, I want to see how stupid I sound, usually, because I'm like how incoherent and what stupid statements I've made this week, what I might need to retract, who I might need to apologise to, and yeah, I just generally make a little list. Yeah, hello.
Out of interest.
Yeah.
What are you recording on?
What do you mean? What am I recording on?
As in, what have you got? Like, are you on your phone? Are you on a microphone?
I'm on a headset at the moment.
Okay. That explains why.
Okay.
Sorry,
your microphone's too close to your mouth.
It's blowing out your S's.
Oh, right.
It's fine.
Okay.
Most of that will go away with the noise reduction in the edit. But it's one of those reasons why you may notice I have this
Microphone setup, which is very nice. Yeah.
Not really. Okay, the microphone, that's from Rock Band.
Okay.
The pop screen on the front is basically $5 of the finest mesh money can buy. And this boom arm thing is from a cheap Chinese importer that it likes to sit in about 4 positions. I mean, if I move it up here, it kind of it does stay there.
Oh, I take it the camera makes it look really professional. You've got that an angle that really sells it like you bought all this equipment and like from the Sharper Image catalogue.
Well, at some point, this is being replaced with a proper boom arm because I'm sick to death of it because you can't really adjust the microphone properly because it's loose when you go that way. And this doesn't quite work. And this microphone is being replaced by a snowball eventually.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. The webcam is just a cheapy Logitech 720p thing.
Mine is my my one bit of my laptop. I'm
Working
actually wearing my
over
Elite Cadre shirt as well.
Oh, very nice.
Elite Cadre shirt.
Do they even exist? What? Where are they?
Yeah. Me, Nick, and Kurt all have a shirt.
Oh.
I have 2.
Oh, you have 2? Okay.
I've got 2 different ones, yeah.
Okay. I am actually in the process of getting some Elite Cadre widgets made.
Ooh.
Yay!
Wow.
I'm going to get one for each of us. And
Hang on. You've said that before.
yes, no, I've actually sent off the specs this time to. I've sent them off to Counterattack, but they haven't replied to me yet. So,
cool. Well, I've got some Counterattack.
If either of you know anywhere else, in case they don't respond,
this is a Canadian company, isn't there? But
if that's the one that was on Lost Hemisphere, they've gone under.
Are they? All right.
Or at least she's left gaming, and yeah.
So,
there's something involving that.
When you did T-shirts, then was this during a time when you tried to merchandise with a little bobbly head figures?
Well, no, we just posted the graphic online, and I went on to something like I don't know what one of the T-shirt making websites, and I put the graphic on and got my own T-shirts printed.
No, but I was really hoping for a bobblehead of somebody.
Hang on, let's see if I can find. Where are we?
Where's my Millie Pup?
It's in the photos of me on Twitter.
No, that's not what I said. Where's my Millie Pup?
Are we still recording?
Yes, we are.
Live.
We're still live. Okay.
Oh, no, not that far back on Facebook. No, not that far back.
Where did that go?
God, my ex posted pictures of my eldest at the first day of school, quite a long time ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and then, some frightening pictures. Made me feel old.
You really do mention that a lot. You're not that old.
I think having children suddenly go, time's passing.
Yeah, time's always been passing. That's the whole point, mate. You know.
So, Benj, if you can get access to the chat on here.
I'm literally laid down right now. Let's see if I can get up. Oh,
it's plastic. What have I got?
You'll be able to see me in my finest Elite Cadre shirt there.
I have become potato. Get up. Destroyer of worlds.
Am I right now? What have I got on the back? I can't remember what's on the back. Oh, yeah. Nice. In Cardiff, I think.
Yeah, on the back of mine is at Mr. Chom, and at the bottom it just says, moving on.
I can't remember what's on the back of mine. Let's have a look at what's on the back of mine. I'll turn around and keep talking.
Oh, my God.
What's on the back of mine? Kurt Johansson and Troll thing on the back of mine. I can't remember.
Hang on. Keep around again.
Keep talking.
Wait,
I am talking.
That's Dave.
You've got Kurt Johansson and the image of looks like a Blitzer.
Blitzer, yeah. Blitzer on lots of things.
So in this photo, you've got Dave Payton looking like actually quite happy. Sam, and then who's the guy at the back?
Mark.
No, the guy at the back is someone I blocked off Facebook.
Rob.
Yes, Rob sounds convincing. but I don't want to go into his full name because I blocked him on Facebook because it turns out he's a massive Islamophobe.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And I wasn't comfortable seeing those messages every day, so I blocked him because
that's fair dues. Yeah.
But no, if you want to see the height of the elite Cadre career, there we go. There's another one for you, Benj.
Okay, let's have a look. Where are we?
That's from 2013.
Signing an
Dave in
autograph.
this one as well.
Yep.
Oh my lord! You're signing an autograph. Wait, is that in Ireland?
Yep. Ian Alderdice
Right.
in Ireland has a signed Mark II rulebook from myself and Nick Topham.
Wow. Wow. We're not that. I take it we're not that big anymore, then.
We've been stalks around certain events. It's been quite strange.
Yes.
And people will bench. The weirdest thing is when people talk to you like they've known you for ages, and you've met them you've been talking to them half an hour, and they talk to you like they've known you forever because they hear you on the podcast.
No.
Yeah, it's weird.
I'm just gonna get people staring at me funny though because I've probably said something that's offended them somewhere down the line.
That too.
That's what I'll get. Yeah.
Oh, you always do, Benj. It's fine.
Oh God, I can't wait.
That's not a new thing, though, is it?
I'm just going back through my history of photos now on Facebook, and it's all the wargaming stuff, including the SmogCon where it looked like I was frankly pissed off at the world.
Oh, did you see the SmogCon news, which sounded quite interesting? That was printed by John. He advertised it on the website about potential Grimkin faction.
Yes, oh, I did see that.
I was going to mention this in the main cast as a point of topic of information. I can't even speak. Topic of I don't know.
That would have been quite good, Benji. Well done. That would have been awesome.
What is a topic of information?
I don't know.
I
don't know. Melbourne Peaks.
I'm so tired.
Gormangar.
So
when did you last sleep, Benj?
Some time ago. I was up at 4 or 5, something like that. I'm finding it so hard to wake up so early in the morning. Because I generally play Overwatch till about 1 or 2 in the morning. So we're currently planning some big things with PP, possibly involving New Hordes faction. So if you have any interest in spooky pumpkin-headed monsters, then it will be worth your time joining us. So ticket sales have gone up. Another 10 people have purchased tickets because it was at 242, I believe, last time, and now it's at 252, and it's capped at 400 tickets. So hopefully we can get that. I mean, if you look at the number of people, there's about 780 people that like the event on Facebook. So.
Having spoken to John, it is worth being involved if you want to go and getting tickets booked, because that means that he gets money off the hotel, which means he can pump it back into the event and make it better for everyone. Because at the moment, I'm going through a very similar thing because I'm an idiot and have volunteered to be vice chair of a convention, not a wargaming one. But yeah, we're looking at hotels and going, how many rooms do we have to sell? We're waiting back for our quote from the Maidenhead Holiday Inn, which will be frankly terrifying because it will be 4 figures.
Wow.
Yeah.
There goes your bonus.
We've already agreed that we're putting money into the company to get this all set up.
So I believe this picture was from the first SmogCon at the Radisson Blue that's on there on the PP website. And just the number of people that are in that room, the atmosphere of that first SmogCon at Radisson Blue in London, that was amazing. That was absolutely...
It was a fantastic event.
That was the height of, I think, tournament, con, whatever the hell you want to call it, the community. I think it
Was this
really
the one
was.
you fell asleep at, Benj?
Yes, the one that
That's when I got pictures of him asleep.
Yeah, that's the one I fell asleep at.
I posted pictures online of him asleep. Yeah.
I tell you what, though, sharing that room with Neek till God knows, there were 2 people playing a game right to the end for points, and there was very little left at this stage. I think Martin Jenkins had come through with a skip and cleared it all out.
Oh no! You want Martin Jenkins with a skip? You want to see him at the first first SmogCon away from Firestorm, the one that took place at the Mandalay in Guildford.
Yes, I was there.
That was the one where we were doing Iron Arena on a spreadsheet, and I just have that little bit of loathing for myself, and just want to die inside. Which actually reminds me, I need to buy the equipment to do this year's Iron Arena, because we'll be hosting it off a Raspberry Pi.
Oh.
A literal, what? A baked Raspberry Pi?
No,
he's
the mic.
He's down with the kids in his technology, isn't he?
No, I know.
Yeah.
I was just trying to be funny, but it didn't really work. It's the tiny little computers.
Yes, we'll be hosting, basically get a Linux distribution onto the Pi, have it accessible via SSH, which is really all you need, to be honest.
What are you running? What's the software that you're running on it, though?
It's okay. If I said it's a lamp stack.
You said that. You said that to me before.
Okay. Not to get too technical, but a lamp stack is a combination of technologies. So it stands for Linux, Apache, which is a web server, MySQL or MySQL, which is a database, and PHP.
I know 3 of those 4 things.
Which one do you know?
The last one.
Okay, PHP is basically a special way that you can code a set of web pages in order that it's more like a program than a straight HTML page. So, for instance, it could go to a database, it could pick out some numbers for you, and be able to put stuff back as new records or modify old ones, for instance.
Okay. So SQL, you're just querying a database there, and
basically what it means is that we can use Mod Plazoid's Iron Arena software, which installs on a lamp stack, and have that run across a number of laptops. Oh, pardon me.
Are you not using
Doju? I was doing last year until you got ill and I didn't go.
Yeah, no. Doju is not the Iron Arena software.
Isn't it?
No. Doju is tournament software. You've used the web page before, haven't you?
Sorry, I'm getting them confused.
That is Plazoid's Iron Arena software. And from what I've seen, there's us and there's Lock and Load are the 2 major users that are actually getting new features put in there. For instance, the only reason that there is a bulk import is because
I complained a lot.
Well, the first year at SmogCon, we had to put every name in by hand, which was awful. But now, John can send me the text file with everyone's name in, and I go, upload, and it does it.
Wasn't that 2015 as well, didn't we have to enter? We had to register everyone into the system.
That was the year I was talking about, yeah.
Yeah, that was awful.
This year, there was a problem because...
everyone was from Yorkshire?
Well, no, because I was ill, Rich Wald had to take over, and he didn't know, and Plazoid didn't know that there's a problem with Windows 8 and essentially, it's a WAMP stack on Windows. Windows 8 does not allow multiple connections to the same web server if it's running it, which meant that you couldn't have 2 laptops accessing the same database
at the same time.
Yeah, whereas you can on Linux and you can on Windows 10. So, yes,
is that why they kept crashing?
Yes.
Oh.
So that was whenever 2 people tried to edit data at the same time and send it back, it would fail.
All those times he came back and forth between the 2 rooms. That was funny.
Yeah.
Super good record there already, isn't it?
Which
Oh,
that's something that Plazoid figured out quite quickly. If you're actually on the PG forums, which I am, under Iron Arena software, in the PG section, you'll actually notice a lot of it is back and forth between myself, Nick, and Plazoid.
Yeah.
Because it's us going, okay, this doesn't work. And at Lock and Load this year, we were getting live tech support from Plazoid in the US, or is it Canada? I can never quite remember. Because it's the US. Because we'd fundamentally fucked the database on day one.
Oh, well done.
First day of Lock and Load, I had to have the first 2 hours just people being turned away and told, nope, we can't enter anything yet, come back when we're ready, because I'd installed the system, but because I hadn't tried to enter a test game, I didn't realise that it wouldn't take any input. And I basically had to strip the whole thing off the laptop and put it all back on again to get it working.
Wow.
But that was fun.
Yes, it was. I was not a pleasant person to talk to for the first 2 hours of Lock and Load. I may have said some very unpleasant things to various PGs who came up and talked to me.
I wish I'd been there.
For this, I can only apologise. But, you know what tech people get like when you try to talk to them when they're trying to concentrate on something.
I do.
Yeah. It's the same response Nick got when he tried to talk to me during a Butcher Feet turn once. He was trying to be nice, and I felt so sorry.
What did he throw Butcher at him?
I may have been a little offensive.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
That's not like you.
This is the thing. Most of the time, I try to maintain this sort of serene, calm outside, which is mostly what I feel on the inside. But when I get stressed, which is normally when I'm trying to do something and trying to concentrate on something, if someone tries to break my concentration, I get pissy.
Yeah. Right, on that note, I think I'm going to bed because
it's midnight. So thank you to Matt, who did listen for a while. But is now
Posted
gone.
on Twitter as well.
Yes. So
I missed that.
Yeah, we'll see you all again soon. Ta-ta.